What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. I am your host, Pearl, and on this show, I talk about observations that I learned from interviewing 1,000 women in the course of a year and a half. So as you guys know, I moved to England and I was there to play semi-pro volleyball on the side. I decided to start a YouTube show. This YouTube show skyrocketed. It became one of the biggest channels in the United States. It got 1 billion views. Only to get demonetized because of some crazy ladies. That's what I'll say. When a woman wants to destroy your life, they'll really do it. Yeah, that's why you just got to let them win. You guys win. You win. Anyways, guys, if you want to support me so I can be YouTube free, please go to theaudacitynetwork.com. I did get recently remonetized, but every day we have no idea if that's going to stay that way. Also, we are going to film content behind the paywall. We've already given 2 presentations, one being how to be a YouTuber and 2, how to excel in government work if you want to go into that industry. So every week we are going to be doing presentations on that sort of thing. There is a slight change to the schedule. We are going to be doing call-in shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I have to get back to you guys on how this is going to affect the extra presentation schedule. But we're no longer doing shows 5 days a week. We're doing it 3. And the reason being is I really like doing call-in shows with you guys, but I do not have the social bandwidth to do it 5 days a week. So we're going to do it 3 right now. This could change in the future, but that's what we're doing right now. So today we are talking about dating apps. So according to stats, 46.4% of Americans say that they are single. Single meaning that they are not married, living with a partner, or in a committed relationship. That means almost half of the people you see are in the current dating market. We all know the dating market is trash. Men have walked away. Modern women are single mothers and whores. And it's just a bunch of chaos. Despite that, people will continue to meet and date. What is the number one way that couples meet? Online dating. In 2022, 50% of couples surveyed said they met online. After 2022, the number of people using dating apps has slowly declined. There are more and more reports of adults being burnt out on dating apps. Adults 30 and under are actively finding new ways to meet and date outside of the apps. So there's an article here about how are dating apps dying out? Hold on. Unlike a man's height and his dating app profile, it's always the men's height that they go for, not the women's catfish. The men lie about their height, but we filter them out based on it. The men, it's like the women will be 50 pounds heavier and put the Facetune on and just snatch the waist. It's so crazy because it's really a common talking point to talk about men's height. And I get that, but what about women's catfishing? The women catfishing is 10 times worse. It's 100 million times worse and more prevalent and more common. Yet the men get all of the credit for this. Okay. After the figures aren't looking too good for dating app companies as users get fed up with swiping. Tinder's base pay shrunk to 9% year over year. In 2024, just shy of 10 million. Match Group, which owns Tinder, saw other investments dip as well. Archer and Chispa, apps for LGBTQ and Latino daters, respectively saw revenue dips 4% in 2023. Bumble missed analyst expectations with its Q4 2023 earnings, sending its stock spiraling down 30% and leading to layoffs of 30% of the workforce. Match Group and Bumble, which make up the majority of the dating market, have lost a combined $40 billion in the dating market since 2021. It's not just that users don't want to pay for a premium for special swipes. They're also having a straight up bad time. Almost half of online daters and more than half of women daters say their experiences have been negative, according to Pew Research Center survey. Compared to trillion-dollar tech giants, even the biggest billion Even the biggest dating companies are somewhat small. Match Group reported a $3.4 billion in total revenue in 2023. And to stay above water, dating companies are relying on pricey subscription models, which has led to increased dissatisfaction from users. While dating app users spend an average of $19 a month, the charges can get even steeper. Tinder released a $500 monthly subscription in 2023, and Hinge launched a $600 annual membership. With users being priced out of bearable dating experiences, many are turned to less traditional platforms like LinkedIn. People are going to Duolingo to find love. That's hilarious. Makes sense to us. If you're going to pay a monthly fee, you might as well learn Spanish too. I want to know how that's going. So you guys are learning Spanish and what, dating the instructors? If that's true, a lot of men are going to sign up to be Spanish instructors. I'll tell you what. They're like, how did we get a surge in these? Okay, why dating apps are dying. All right, we're going to do this next article. It's called Why Dating Apps Are Dying. And by the way, guys, later in the show, we are going to call in. And if you're actively dating, I want to know where you're meeting people. Where are people going? Have you just bowed out? Have you stopped dating? Or have you gone somewhere else? Have the apps been working for you? Have they not been working for you? Call in and share your experience. We are going to put a link in the chat. We can probably do that now, but we're not going to bring you guys up for like a little bit. So I'm going to read these articles and then in like 10, 15 minutes. So if you want to be first, feel free. Okay, stop locking up the hotties. Why dating apps are dying. The number of users paying to access better matches on dating apps is failing. Why? It's simple. Singles are tired, but maybe there's a better way. 30 minutes before my interviews with the founder and boss of dating app Hinge is due to start, an email lands in my inbox. He needs to reschedule due to a personal conflict. As anyone who has spent time on dating apps in the last few years would know, this is deeply on brand. We're meant to be talking about dating app burnout, and disappointment is undeniably the number one cause of millennial malice. And by the way, guys, we all know what's going on the dating app. So women we're going for a smaller and smaller percentage of men because we think we're hotter than we are, right? So this leads to women being dissatisfied because we keep getting ghosted, pumped and dumped. And we're like, I can't find a good man. Well, you shot too high. The men know when they shoot too high. Like if a guy's a 6 and he's banging an 8, he's like, she's going to cheat and leave me soon, but I'm going to enjoy the experience, right? Women, we can't do that. We can't just like enjoy. We're like, look, I'm going to enjoy this as long as it happens. We start to feel entitled. And that'll happen to men. They bang someone a little out of their league. And then they know it's only going to last a little bit and then they're going to move on. Okay. But as the amiable Justin McLeod, who started Hinge in 2012, says, when we managed to meet over Zoom this week, his app is on a mission to end cynicism. The Kentuckian has got his work cut out for him. Dating apps are hemorrhaging users, with downloads sliding from a 2019 peak of 287.4 million users to 237 million, according to the Business of Dating Apps and App Industry Analyst. Over the last year, Bumble's share price has fallen 45%, and Match, which owns Hinge, Tinder, and eHarmony, among others, is down 82% on October of 2021 high. It has to be said that amid all of this, Hinge is a rare bright spot. In the last year on this app, which markets itself as the place for those seeking relationships, not hookups, has grown. Yeah, okay, come on. Yeah, like women are really holding out for Chad. Come on, let me get this straight. When Chad tries to smash first or second date, the women are like, no, come on. But we all, okay, whatever. All right, users by 21% and the amount they pay by 12%, up $30.26 annually. It reached an all-time high in downloads in the third quarter of 2024. In its marketing, Hinge calls itself the app designed to be deleted. Yeah, okay. And it should say the app designed to be deleted for now. Till after the divorce, till after the kid, till after the placeholder boyfriend. Also, if you guys do have a question, comment, or concern, make sure you put Pearl Reed in the like comment section on my website, or if you do a super chat, I will read it. Okay. All right. But say psychologists.
Sorry, can you pause for a second?
Sure.
There's issues on the website.
Okay. I guess we're having issues on the websites. Can they not hear me or what?
It keeps locking up.
Is it just no volume? Frozen on my end.
Yeah, it keeps freezing. No sound.
Okay.
It'll take a minute.
Guys, while we're waiting for a second, please like the video. And I'll read your comments right now in the chat. I want to wait on the website, but if you're in the YouTube chat right now, if you let me know where you've been meeting people. I know the volume's fine on YouTube, but the Audacity side, I guess we're having issues. Please no. I think people in general are through with dating due to how difficult it's gotten. Yet look, the women are through with it because we're sick of, we're like, Chads, treat us better, but we love it. It's like, women, it's so crazy because it's like, here's our 2 meters, right? Our meter for liking someone as a person and our meter for wanting to have sex with them. So it's like the opposite. So when we want to have sex with them, we hate them as a person, right? But when we start to like them as a person, we don't want to have sex with them. So the only way to spice up your relationship is to make your girlfriend hate you as a person a little bit more, right? It's like have a week of just saying no to everything that she asks you. The women are going to be so mad at me. Look, but it's true. We're like, can you do this? Can you do this for me? And then you're like, do it yourself, bitch. Let me know how that goes. I'm just kidding. So Michael said, I met people at school and at work. Well, how has that been going? I mean, here's the problem if you meet people in a place where you have mutual friends. Now the woman can use those friends against you to ruin your reputation. Our way that we get you is through groups. Every time I get a match on a dating app, it's either a catfish or a single mother looking for a dad for her kids. I'm fit and I'm not doing bad financially. The doing good things should be rewarded with sex. Okay. Then do you know, okay. Let me just do Make-A-Wish. Okay, then women that are modest, right, should be rewarded, but are we? No. What, and I'm just being honest here. What reward do women get for modesty? I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, what? I reward modest women. I only date modest women. Really, John? That's what you were thinking on the first date. You were really thinking, wow, I'm impressed by the modesty, not I'm impressed by her tits and ass. Come on. Let's just be real here. The reason women are so naked nowadays is because it gets them more attention. Everything starts with the male gaze, right? That's where everything starts. You get nothing so you guys are like, can I just be rewarded? Can I be rewarded in a fallen world, right? I'm not saying God's kingdom could be different. I'm talking about this world right now. There are women that are going to be billionaires on OnlyFans. Okay. That's this world, right? Right? So if I said, hey, women, be modest, and they're like, do I get to make more money? Probably not, And so you guys, it's like, be nice to women. And then you guys are like, am I going to get laid? And I'm like, well, probably not. It gets bad attention. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now there's a level, right? But I'm sorry, there's too many women that are making a lot of money off of this stuff. If women are hot enough, men don't really care. They can dress modest and put themselves. Yeah. Okay. We're in 2025. What happens first? Sex or relationships? What does a woman get for chastity? Now, are there some blue-pilled guys that might do the waiting till marriage thing? Okay, now we're up on the website.
Yeah.
There are. But yeah, okay, now what do the women care about? The women care about hot guys. Okay, let's just be honest here. Women want Leonardo DiCaprio. They don't care about money anymore. That's like the ultimate end game is the hot guy. So do women get, by being chaste, like doing the chastity thing, are women rewarded for it? Are women like if you go into a church, are the guys typically hot that are going to reward now, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't do this, right? Just like I'm not saying you should or shouldn't be a nice guy or a bad boy. But, I'm just trying to explain the incentives. Everyone's like, oh, how is this fallen? How are women whores? And I'm like, it's so easy. It's so easy to like point out the incentive structure. Kim Kardashian is a billionaire. She had a sex tape leaked. So's Paris Hilton. But why would women do it? It's like, now, could you argue you could go the marriage route? I mean, yeah. But this is what the women want. We want the ultimate amount of freedom, so getting to do whatever we want, and at the same time having a lot of money, and at the same time getting to have sex with hot guys. That's why women look up to Kim Kardashian more than Melania Trump. Who gets more of those three things? Who gets more praise and attention, right? Now, I love Melania, right? And she does have a female fan base too, but I'm just the same way, like, are men looking up more to Leonardo DiCaprio, or are they looking up more to, I don't know, what's that pastor's name? That pastor, that man, Russell Brand, I guess, good guy, right? Tom Brady, yeah. When it comes to women, even though Tom Brady did the right thing, like quote unquote, like the religious thing, and from a dating point of view, they're going to look up more to Leo because that's freaking awesome, right? From the male lens. You get to date a new hot 19-year-old every year. For women, it's like Kim Kardashian is awesome because she gets the ultimate amount of freedom, the ultimate amount of male attention, and she dates high-level men no matter how much sexuality she puts out there. She had kids with Kanye. She dated Pete Davidson after. I mean, you could say what you want. Women like him. It's not really... Now, she's going to age out, right? It's going to happen. But I just want to explain the incentives here. Kim Kardashian has the freedom to divorce. Like, if Melania wants to divorce... she's kind of cooked, right? Her whole brand is done. Kim Kardashian can divorce, and she doesn't even have to worry about being a good person, right? Like, the public hates her anyway, but she gets $1 billion. She's completely in control of what happens to the $1 billion. And on top of that, she gets child support of $200K a month and kids from one of the greatest rappers of all time. Now, you might think, well, Kim Kardashian can't get doctors, she can't get lawyers, she can't get classy men. Do young women, now we got to think about what young women want, right? What old women want doesn't matter. Like what I want, I'm an old lady, but like the 19-year-olds, because they have the most buying power in the market, right? It's kind of like the same way we can look at the most, I guess you could say, hot and clouded men, what they pick to see what men really want. Well, the 19-year-olds, are they thinking I want a doctor and a lawyer? So you guys are like, you're trying to logic with illogical people, right? We're an illogical group of people. So you're saying, well, Kim Kardashian can't get the classy men. Women don't want classy men. They want clouded men. Unfortunately. I don't say this as a good thing. The same way, like, men liking big tits, that can blind a man. The same way clout can blind a man for women, right? So, like, in the female lens, Kim Kardashian is the ultimate winner. Now, she's going to turn into like a Madonna, right? I mean, men can see the long game. But I mean, we're going to die. I think the average woman lives to be 75. So Kim K is still thirst trapping at like 45, 55, 60. So I guess the last third of her life is going to blow. But even so, I bet she could still get in the last, because what you guys think is women age out, and they kind of do age out, but she could still go for like a has-been that's like 30 years older. I don't know. I'd have to think about more of who she could go for, but you guys get the idea. She's just going to have to go for the 80-year-olds in her 50s. It upset me that Pearl said women are not rewarded for modesty. Okay, well, you can be upset, but you have to understand, you guys are looking at this from a logical point of view. You're thinking the modesty is rewarded, but like the female lens, again, we want like, and I'm not saying we should want this, but I'm saying this is like the female lens. Women want the most clouded guy possible. They want the most freedom possible, and they want the most money possible. Now, the married woman isn't going to get the most freedom, right? So like everyone's like, why are women becoming sex workers instead of wives? It's so obvious to me. Because those three things are what women like ruthlessly go for. Why are the Kardashians they're not getting necessarily rich guys. Like they're not going to get the elite like billionaire class, but they'll get clouded guys. Like some rapper will take Kim K for a couple of years. You know what I mean? Like there's some, and that's, her, and, Kylie Jenner had a kid by ASAP Rocky, and somehow she's still with one of the most clouded, now she's going to the white guys, white men in Hollywood. Not the women I'm interested in, Pearl. Well, you guys aren't the clouded guys. And I'm not even trying to say this to be mean, right? But, young women don't want that. Have you seen them at concerts? Yeah, okay. Young women want the gangsters, the thugs, and the rappers. Well, that's going to be dependent. So women's bad boy archetype, and I'm going to get back into the topic, but I'm kind of spitting right now. So women's bad boy archetype highly depends on where they're from, right? So a woman, I'll give you an example. Ivanka Trump's bad boy is going to, Giselle's bad boy is going to be the jujitsu instructor, right? It's going to be the fighter, where a girl that grew up in the hood's bad boy is going to be a straight up criminal. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a literal criminal, where a white suburban girl, for example, my vegan activist teacher I know, he's like a vegan activist, and he did well with the Christian, because he's the liberal vegan activist, and these Christian women are trying to change him. That's their bad boy. He did well with them, right? So, the bad boy isn't necessarily always going to be the same. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe her bad boy is everyone's a simp around her, and you're just the only guy that ever told her no in her life, which is very tough for women. We don't hear no often. Or ever. So it's the guy will be like, no, you can't have that. And she's like, I love you forever, right? It's really highly dependent. Class dates class. Yeah, but there's still the least classy guy in that class. I know, Gucci third leg, but all the girls he was giving herpes to, I know, disgusting, right? But they were all kind of hood or OnlyFans models. So the guy with herpes, I guess, is going to be the bad boy. I mean, that's disgusting, but I guess I'd be a nun's bad boy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every girl's bad boy is different. And the same guy can be a good guy to one girl. And I'll give you an example. So now the reason Tom Brady got screwed was he didn't look at Giselle's dating history or really care about it. And men kind of do that. They don't really want to think about it too much. It kind of makes you guys want to throw up, right? I get it. But you really got to look at this, because Tom Brady to Giselle, do you know who Giselle dated before Tom Brady? Leonardo DiCaprio. So of course, Giselle is going to think that Tom Brady is a scrub. She's I was on the yacht with Leo and he was banging me out. And I was, I heard that Leo has sex with women with headphones on. Like, that's like a known rumor that he puts his head for, like, do you know how humbling that you think you're a hot 19-year-old and this guy bangs you with headphones on? Like, he doesn't care. They're going to love him forever, right? So anyways, Giselle obviously has to divorce Tom. Obviously, right? So, but had Tom Brady just went and got himself, he should have went to, where does Tom Brady live? He should have went to like Boston College or something and found himself a nice little 19-year-old. Because now Tom Brady is going to be the most exciting thing that 19-year-old's ever seen. Now that's until she meets his teammates and leaves him eventually, right? But I'm sure that 7 years is going to be a very good experience. I was actually talking to my friend, I have a friend, and he got tickets to he got to meet basically all the people at what is that concert called in the middle of nowhere where it's like, what is it? I can't imagine how people find it fun, but it's like Rolling Loud, or it's going on right now. Coachella. That's it. Coachella. And he got to meet all the artists. And I asked him, I'm like, did you bring your girlfriend? And he's like, no. Why would I bring my girlfriend to meet like clouded men? That's like a recipe for disaster. So maybe if he left her at home and like washed her, I don't know. He went to the University of Michigan. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like and women, like, we're in 2025. Your girl got banged out by somebody. You just got to kind of figure out what type of guys she goes for. And are you going to be as like cool? Because, if Tom Brady was just honest with himself, he should have just looked at Leo and just left. He should have looked at Leo. Like, another one is Hailey Bieber. I predicted divorce for her. And the reason why, she dated Drake before Justin Bieber. Now, Justin Bieber is a world superstar. And I do feel bad for these men because I do think they pass these women around. Like, they're so attractive. These women get DM'd by everybody. But like Hailey Bieber has naked pictures on Instagram being married to Justin Bieber. Everyone wanted to date him, right? Like when I was in high school, he was the guy. But she got banged out by Drake, or allegedly, right? I mean, who knows? But allegedly she was partying with Drake. She was too close to Drake. But the bad boy is never the type who Jesus wants you to be, Pearl, LOL. Oh, yeah, like Jesus. Jesus couldn't even stop these hoes, right? I mean, the Garden of Eden, it's like the apple is basically being a whore, right? So Adam was like, maybe you shouldn't do that. And God was like, maybe you shouldn't do that. And Eve was like, nah. Let's ruin everything for eternity. It's a fallen world, right? Like, I don't think this world, and I'm just being honest, guys, and I'm going to do a show on whores later. And it was kind of blackpilling. I looked at the biggest whores from my college. Don't you live at home in your folks' mansion? Richie says. Mind your business, Richie. Do I ask you where you live? All right. Now, they were all married to pretty attractive guys. I got to be honest. And some with kids. And I was thinking, I'm like, there's no. And I honestly was looking at the girls that like didn't really have a reputation like that. And what was the common denominator? The whores were hotter. I mean, it's like not a fair world. Now, I don't know what'll happen in 10 years. I'm 28, not 48. They could all get divorced. I don't know. And I like to think that'll happen, but I have to because, I think there's a part of you that thinks like people get punished for doing bad things. I don't think that's true. And the older I get, I'm like, I don't think that's true at all. I really don't. It looks like it's working now. Are we good on the website? We are good on the website now? Yeah. Right. Okay. Sorry, guys. I had to. Let me pull up the new chat. I think there's a new one. Pearl Reed, women are better off going the marriage route. The richest woman in the world got her wealth through marriage. Well, yeah, but Doug, MPA, you're proving my point, because women, the richest woman in the world. So again, the woman with the most freedom to do whatever she wants, the most money, and the most access to hot guys, which I guess Mackenzie, like, you're thinking of this from a man's point of view, because a man would just think straight dollars, but that's not what women are in it for. It's really, we just want to get a bunch of attention for being hot, take off our clothes and bang hot dudes. I mean, that's like when it comes down to it. So, like, you know, because women look up to Kim Kardashian, they don't look up to Mackenzie Bezos. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I see like the women that are being hailed on social media, I see Kim way more than Mackenzie. You know, Kylie Jenner is another. It's woman that can make every bad decision possible and still bang a hot guy at the end. So again, you're looking at, like, if women were better off doing that, then we would do it. Like, you have to understand, people tend to work in their best interest. So even the quote unquote good decision, she's a billionaire through divorce, which is the wrong decision, right? Now you could say in the long run, but I mean, now she's just going to go be a side piece to a Chad. So now it's like even better for her, if I'm being honest, because she gets to go be a side piece to a Chad and get banged out by a Chad, and you get to pay for it. Congratulations, fellas. You're funding the female fantasy. Women are rewarded with protection, food, shelter, and what men provide. Well, yeah, but if you're saying that women are rewarded through marriage with that, well, yeah, but you don't get the excitement. Women, that's what we want. You got, like, you're putting your brain into like, women, we like the excitement. We like the hot guys. We like getting naked. That's our thing, right? So, you know, you're like, but you get protection and provision. Well, but if women divorce you, they get the provisioning, they get the money. We also have pretty easy jobs we can get the money from too. And shelter, like, we can go, like, what? This isn't the 1900s. We don't need you to build us a house. Like, we can get an apartment. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just being honest. Like, because, you know, people are like scratching their heads. They're like, why are women making these decisions? Well, I think it's really obvious why we're making these decisions. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Pearl said, first off, mind your business. Yeah, I mean, where do you live? It's like, shut up, you know? I'm not trying to die out here. People don't always love me, you know what I mean? It's just... Now, I got to be honest, when it comes to modesty, now there's 3 types of women that I found. Now, this is just my experience from playing in volleyball. And I usually find there's 3 types of women on a team. Actually, I'm going to save that for next show. I could spit about this, but I'll save it for next show. I really got to finish this article. Okay, so back to the dating apps. All right. Psychologists, researchers, and frustrated singles, the problem of dating app burnout becomes beyond the help of AI. Fixing the apps and love by extension comes back to understanding the way we connect, why we connect, and where we've gone wrong. It's just scroll, scroll, scroll. Emma Elizabeth has 3 dating apps on her phone. Do you know, women are the only ones that could get... When I was on the apps, guys, and I like to think, I'm a mid, right? I'm you know, I'm all right. But I'm not even like an 8+. I had thousands of matches, okay? Thousands. And we are the only ones that can get thousands of choices and still complain. Can you imagine having thousands of choices as a man? Like, can you imagine that, right? But women, we have thousands, and it's like, well, we hate the matches. Well, there's not one in there. Yeah, okay. I'm sure some you'll get banged out, whatever. They don't call you back, whatever. But none. You can't find one that'll call you back. Are you that insufferable? Okay. Bumble and Raya. Markets excel for the rich, famous, beautiful, and powerful, but none are on rotation. Elizabeth, 40, is a leading, I mean, yeah, you're 40. That's why you hate the dating apps. But go for the 60-year-old. It's like women, men, men will learn the styles women like or go live where the hot women are. But women, it's like we play the game on hard mode. I mean, if you're 40, you can kind of be young to somebody. Now, I'm sure there's a 70-year-old that would love to be with you, right? Or like a charming 60-year-old, Now, maybe it's a little weird to date that old, but I mean, it's probably weird for them to date women as old as you. So it's like, I'm just saying, we could kind of go where we're wanted as women. There was a guy that called in I think he was 60 dating a 40-year-old, and he would look like a very happy man. No guy's going to complain if he gets 20 years on, now, okay, you might not be getting celebrities, but there's got to be one guy hot enough for you to be happy with, right? And plus, at 40, you don't even have to sell purity anymore. You can just give it out for free until one sticks around. That's what I'd tell you to do. At that age, I would tell you, there's no point in selling purity because the men are going to assume you're banged out anyway. They really are. You might as well just go for it. But in the last year, and I would say that as a strategy, because if you make any guy wait at 40, he's just going to hate you later. He's going to be like, what the fuck you're 40. What are you waiting? I mean, if you find him attractive enough to bang him, that's what I would tell you to do at 40, Elizabeth. Okay. But in the last year, she's just been on one date by her own choice. She's had some bad experiences. The last person she matched with, reportedly from the United Nations, found her number on the website and sent her a barrage of dick pics. Her experience, block him. It's like women. It's so easy. Do you know what? I've been sent unsolicited stuff, especially on being a social media person. And on Instagram, it's bad because you have to click, sometimes I won't realize what it is. And it's but then it ends because I block them and then I never have to deal with it again. So yeah, it's annoying. And sometimes I'm but it's and I don't think women are getting as many as they're saying. That's my other thing, because I'd say I'm not that famous, but I would say I get more attention on the internet than the average woman. And I don't think it's that big of a problem for me. I think the Instagram filters and Twitter filters just kind of filter it out. It's just never been a huge issue for me personally. So knowing that, $20, I used to be nice to my girl, but I started being mean and not caring about her feelings. She does more for me and I get laid for more. Women are crazy because she really thinks I'm an asshole. I know, it's do you know what? I think men and women, we both hate when the stupid stuff works. I can't play my cards here, okay? I can't tell my cards as a woman of things that work. Okay, I really can't because I can't give away secrets. But even as a woman, there's things where you're this freaking world meant there was a girl on my team and she dated one of the hottest guys on campus. He was so hot. And I'm telling you, she had two voices. And her other voice was an octave higher than her normal voice. And I swear to God, he ate that up because she was dating one of the most attractive men on campus. Game is game. She would have two personalities. She'd be a bitch to us, but then she'd go to him. And I'm like, what on earth? But hey, okay. I gotta stop. I gotta stop spitting. I gotta stop. I gotta finish this article. It's Pearl, focus. All right. The source of Elizabeth's dissatisfaction is also simple. After years with apps hovering on her phone, she considers for them a time waster. The disconnect between the images people are putting online and what they show on up on the date is exhausting. You can go into this vortex and just scroll. You get the ick and you just think, this is too much. She isn't paying for any of the premium versions of the app. I think the minute you pay, maybe it's better. I just don't want to pay for it. I prefer to meet someone in real life. Look, at 40, you got to pay. Okay, because I can't imagine, like, it's got to be a dumpster fire out there. So at 40, you definitely got, like, at 40, I would spend 10 grand on a matchmaker, a personal trainer, and a stylist. That's what I would do at 40. I'd maybe invest in a boob job and Botox. I mean, the guys will say, oh, we don't like that. Shut up. You guys don't even know. You guys, okay, do you know what? You guys don't like fake stuff if you know it's fake. But you guys don't always know when it's fake. Now, the women that go too far, yeah, okay, you guys know. The lip filler, yeah, that stuff is nasty. But I've seen women get nose jobs and that shit changed their life. I've seen women get good boob jobs and that shit. Like, what you guys can tell me is like, when you guys tell me things, it's like when men tell them, like when women are like, oh, we like the nice guys, and you guys roll your eyes. That's how I feel about natural. Right? But the thing is, the women can never tell the guy. If you tell him, you ruined it for him. You can't, like, deny till you die, ladies. I'm not talking about morality here. I'm talking about the best results. And the work has to be so good you can't tell. That's the answer. There's a catch, though. I think people are scared to put themselves forward when they're out and about, so we're in a lose-lose situation. It's a common feeling among the disillusioned. The apps have become the dominant area for the dating at the cost of real-life meet cutes. For the first few years after the apps arrived on the scenes, this was fine, if not fun. Today, the fear that the love of your life might be stuck behind a paywall and also less likely to ask for your number at a bar is accurate. Maybe the apps need to get some sort of viral disease, says Elizabeth, and we will just turn them all off for a while. Zach Seidler is an Australian clinical psychologist and researcher who has studied connections between masculinity, intimacy, and men's mental health. While he doesn't think that the apps have reduced our abilities to pick up in real life, they have fundamentally shifted our psychology. Do the apps change our interactive abilities in a real life pub? No. But what the apps have done is made us less likely to get out there and therefore shifted our competence and confidence to having that interaction. There's nothing with us that's broken, just a lack of willingness and practice. However, he says that the apps have changed the way we evaluate potential partners. When you meet someone at a pub, you have a voice in the back of your head asking, is this the best option for me? That's what women think. Men think good enough. Men think, is she going to fuck? Men think, am I banging this chick tonight? Women think, is this the best? Like, that's what men think, good enough. I'll do it. Would. And this was far less of an issue in our parents' generations because they didn't have perceived access to everyone. And it is perceived. We do not have access to everyone that we think we do. Men don't. Women pretty much do. If you're hot enough as a girl, the sky is the limit, really. If you catfish enough and you're hot enough, it's like, why do women catfish? Well, they can get flew out by someone better than you. Sorry, fellas. Sorry, you're like, why do women post ass pics? Because some guy's going to see it and think yes. The underlying psychology mechanism that's really changing our faith in our decision-making abilities. Run club, book clubs, or get your mates to swipe. Have you guys been meeting at run clubs or book clubs? Let me know. Eventbrite 2024 dating report found that American millennials, 70% would prefer to meet in person because they think it feels more meaningful. Nearly half would like to meet through friends, while 34% are open to meeting someone simply going about their day. Their dream spots, coffee shops, bookstores, music ventures, libraries, and the outdoors. What are the dream spots for you? Meanwhile, just over a quarter, 27% of Gen Z and millennials anticipate they'll meet a potential romantic partner at a social or community clubs. Enter run clubs. Across the world, these clubs have exploded in popularity in the next couple of years. Park Run, arguably the biggest run club in the world, has some 370,000 people taking place in its weekly 5-kilometer format. In Australia, the number of runners and volunteers has climbed 23% last year to 77,000. Whether one should try to find true love while sweating it out is a tricky matter for run club coordinators. After all, it's one thing to strike up a friendly chat as you pound the pavement. It's another to discover your once innocent run club has become a hunting ground and your lycra-clad prey. Look, you get men and women together, people are fucking. I mean, it is what it is. Like, men and women at work, they start hooking up, right? Men and women at a run club, at a gym, phew. Some run clubs have popped up specifically for singles. Tinder itself has one. A new dating app called Lunge has its own run club where everyone is single and wears black. To be honest, I'm tired of trying to find someone. I'm always like the friend or brother. Why keep trying if all they want is unrealistic expectations? It's not worth it. Really? It's not worth enough for a hot piece of tail? What if she's really hot? You never know. Okay, but plenty of other businesses are finding ways to tap into this app dissatisfaction without resorting to physical exercise. Amy Lynn, the founder of events companies No Swipes, considers the illusion of endless options and such a premium being placed on any given match to be the real culprits behind dating app burnout. First coffee, then air. Rather than collude, women dislike their husbands before no-fault divorce. Maybe women are victims of FOMO from social pressure. Oh my God, women are victims, of course. Of course. How do we see what people really want to do? You give them the freedom to do anything. Unfortunately, when you give us ultimate freedom, we're just bad people. I don't know what it is. And now they're still not happy, even when they get the celebrity. I know. I mean, we're never happy, but I think it's just our inherent nature. Like, you know, it's like the rich man who gets rich and cheats. Well, he always wanted to cheat. It's just a lot easier for him now. Was he a victim who was brainwashed? Like, do you hear how you sound? Oh, the rich men that cheat or the clouded men that cheat are just brainwashed victims. Yeah, okay. All right. She and co-founder Natalie Smith bootstrapped their business to launch their first event in April 2023. The idea is simple. Get 200 single guys and 200 single girls. Okay, so translation, 50 men will screw the 200 girls. Yeah. The mass dating markets are gamified. People are tired of this way of dating and looking for alternatives to meet people. It's simple. We run the best parties where everyone happens to be single. She says the events which run, I feel like men just aren't going to want to go to this. I mean, they're saying it sells out, but I just can't imagine. The men, I guess I'll find out. Dating events are also on the up, with Eventbrite reporting single event attendance jumping 42% between 2022 and 2023 and 49% this year. Fellow founder Brigitte Gale launched a dating app, Hello Darling, with co-founder Brendan Lee in January. Their idea is that you know you better than yourself and they're likely not as burnt out by the apps as you are, so why not swipe on their behalf? Gail's currently swiping on behalf of her co-founder. She'll be served up to 15 profiles a day. And if she encounters someone she thinks would be a good fit, and the same thing happens on the other side of the equation, a match is made. The app will send the two off on a blind date, with the potential lovebirds selecting whether they want a drink, coffee, or meal of where to go. Lee and Gail don't charge users, but in the future, they plan to make money by taking a percentage of the total bill from partner ventures, in a similar way to how Uber Eats is monetized. We don't think we should be charging our users to be able to possibly meet the love of our life to go on a date with someone. Our aim is to get two people in the room, and we don't want to stop that. I would do anything for love, but I wouldn't do that. It speaks to the question, how much would you pay for love? Or perhaps, better question, what would it cost you to pay to find love? Well, Morgan Stanley says 32% of singles in the U.S. use a dating app, and a quarter of them pay. Match has observed its eighth consecutive quarterly decline in the number of paying users. And while paying users are down, revenue per payer is up $18.39 this time last year to $19.26. A Tinder subscription in 2020 cost as little as $7 a month. Today, premium platinum subscription, it'll set you back $50. Hinge's basic product is free to use, but if you want to see everyone who likes you at once and set more preferences such as height or vice once a week upgrades to Hinge Plus, it'll set you back $24.99. And if you want to see and have the opportunity to match with those who are most your type, dubbed standouts, you'll need to upgrade to Hinge X for $40 a week. The feature is a particular sore spot amongst users when I ask my single friends. This is the problem, because the app sucks if you give women ultimate choice. So then you say to the women, we're going to dial back your choice because you got to give some of these guys a shot that are in your league. And then the women so they're like, how can we do that? Let's up the price and let's limit how many people you can see. And then the women are like, no, hot guys only. All right. Stop gatekeeping the hottie. Yeah, you see? I said it before I even read it. Stop gatekeeping the hotties is one memorable all caps demand. This friend is talking about the way Hinge uses its algorithm to pinpoint users' exact type before sticking them behind a paywall. Online, their paywall is dubbed the Rose Jail. The only way to match with the blessed few behind the bars is to send them a rose, a token of affection that can only be gated by limited number of times. Hinge says roses are twice as likely to lead to a date than a regular like, but unfortunately for many, sending one feels like the mobile phone equivalent of please love me. Elizabeth says it feels like she's on The Bachelorette. It's super cringeworthy. As one zillennial single I know says, it's giving desperate. The fact that if you even can overcome the hit to your finances and your ego of sending a rose just because you're paying to have better matches doesn't mean they'll like the look of you in return. So women are seeing how the women are having to pay and they don't like it. The men are like, we've always paid. Do you know how many times I've paid and not gotten laid? They're like, we got no sympathy. We do not care. No subscription tier, no matter how expensive, can guarantee love. Yet the idea that the apps are purposefully hiding the ones you're most interested in, whether true or not, is conducive to a positive experience, says Lisa Portolan. Since the paid components of the dating apps have become far more prevalent, there have been a lot more questions about whether the dating apps are just keeping them there for longer, paying the fees as opposed to meeting people, she says. Portolan is a researcher whose PhD on dating apps and intimacy was published this year. Her topic, the 10 ways to find love and how to keep it. In her research, she found that for many, being on the apps conflicts with their idea of what love should be. They think they're supposed to meet on a bus or in a bookshop, or their eyes will lock and they'll feel the dating app itself flies in the face of the love story. Who thinks that, men or women? Who's realistic? Men. Who's unrealistic? Women. Men are like, yep, it's time to download the apps, DMs on Instagram, and go to the bars. They're like, I'm not above it. If I get laid, I get laid. It's the women that want this like fairy tale love story. The men are like, I got rejected. Do you have a sister? Do you have a friend? Do you have a mother? I don't care. Okay. There's a real tension for people using the dating app. They think I've got to be here, but I don't actually believe it's going to deliver on the romantic proposition that I'm after. After that, they're paying to meet someone they can feel like a bridge too far. The subscription-based model has a lot of people on the back foot. It's a big thing that a lot of people are talking about. Why should I have to pay for them? Portolan says the subscription model is not working for them. And from a brand perspective, it doesn't really help them foster authenticity. People don't think that they're anymore to help them find a match. They obviously still have to be financially viable in some way, shape, or form, but this pathway is not really giving them the social license to operate. So I think they will evolve to a different sort of funding. You and I, robot. Cedar estimates that he went on 100 dates in 5 or 6 years. Then one day he went to a pub with a woman he met on Hinge, followed with a walk along the beach, and now they'll be married by Christmas. There's definitely hope out there until the divorce. Hope for now. And a whole beauty to be found on this app. But much of Cedar's work with young men is helping them change the internal narratives they've built, and they've tried to find love he has, but have been emotionally wrecked along the way. It's important to realize the notion of communication, love, romance, and intimacy is so hardwired and continuously described as the number one metric of success in a young man's life. The pressure is real for these guys. The perception of failure is what leads young guys to influencers who tell them they're victims of women. Yeah, guys that say, put up or shut up, bitch. Oh, that's hilarious. Women are so mad that the men are like, yep, you're not a virgin. Put out, bitch. Put out or I walk. Victims of women withholding sex, dates, and love, sometimes with violent results. What I try to do is myth bust, but also try to have a conversation with men about what type of vulnerability, openness, and connection is required to be a successful partner, and try to undermine those narratives that you have to be an alpha. Regardless of gender, spending too much time on the apps without any success is rarely going to feel good, Seidler adds. The internal narrative that's driving a lot of burnout among people is, I am not enough and I have failed. Hinge's McLeod says he's hearing singles complaints. Hinge has introduced your turn limits, a feature that encourages users to respond to each other's messages before messaging many new people. It's also intriguing AI to both match and coach users. What we find is that some of our users struggles to even get a first date, and they need help with either choosing the right photos or writing the right prompt, all the way down to approach the first date. Does that mean these flirty messages that guys or girls send you on Hinge has actually been written by a robot? Not quite, says McLeod. We want to make sure that we are not putting words into your mouth. He gives example of someone whose Hinge bio says they love brunch. We're able to say, hey, that's probably not going to represent your personality very well. People don't know how to respond to that. Where do you like to have brunch, and what do you like to talk about? See, again, that's for men. Right? Because women read bios. Men look for boobs. Do you know what I mean? They're on a dating app. They're like, is she hot? Is she my type? Is she hot? And does she have any glaring red flags? And if they're looking for something short term, they're like, the more red flags, the better. Sleeve tattoo right this way, lady. But he also says they're using AI to refine the matching algorithm. We're able to be more nuanced and focus more on quality over quantity when it comes to matching, he says. Questioned about Rose Jail, he says that Hinge has almost been religious about only adding features if they lead to more dates. The fact is, standouts and roses do work. They also make Hinge money. Across match groups, 4 operating segments, Tinder, MG Asia, E&E, and Hinge, Hinge reports the highest revenue per user at $30.62. I actually went to a wedding recently of someone who sent a rose to a standout. They were like, it's the best $2.99 I've ever spent. And there's a lot of nuance on Hinge because we do deliver every like, and we don't want to overwhelm users who are getting more attention, but we don't want to restrict you from being able to shoot your shot with somebody. We do deliver every like, which is why we have to be so thoughtful about who we serve to whom. It's not about other dating apps where there's the double opt-in, where if you like someone, you maybe got 500 slots in their stat card. For those in the throes of burnout, McLeod says the best way to become excited about romance again is to just remember that it really only takes one. Sometimes the person who's sitting right in front of you can be the person you're missing out on. So many times I've spoken to friends and they say, I'm not finding anyone on Hinge. And then they show me their account and there are 7 people who are sitting there waiting for a response. You do your best on Hinge when you really are thoughtful and intentional. Pearl, 'cause I can. Thank you. Also, whether she's found it hard to be burnt out on dating apps, Elizabeth laughs. Okay, so now she's going to cope, right? She's saying, I'm not burnt out. This doesn't hurt my feelings. Let me see if anyone wanted. Pearl Reed, I think that once a person pays on the dating apps and the bots take over and try to get you to continue to pay, what do you think? I don't know. I wasn't on them long enough. I'm surrounded by amazing friends, amazing family. My dad has really a funny saying, Emma, a woman who needs a man is like a fish that needs a bicycle. They're unnecessary. See, that's the simp dad. So like a lot of times the simp dads, again, they inflate the woman's ego, right? Here's the thing. And I'm going to do a show on this as a dad. This is kind of uncomfortable, right? But your daughter's going to get banged out by somebody. Like somebody's going to do it, right? Now, what age? You could push that off to maybe 20. When I was in school, the last girls were maybe 20. Okay. The first girls were like 14. That's the time frame. So, at some point we got to think it's better if you kind of have a hand in it, right? Or at least you put her in an environment where the guys are like better. Like the worst place to send your daughter is to be a waitress because she's going to be banging the cooks, right? And those guys have criminal records, like that's but do you know what I would do if I had a daughter? I think I'd go to some high income, like really stable sport I'd make her play. I was thinking tennis. Now, I don't know. I don't have a daughter. This is stuff you guys have to think about, not me. I would maybe think tennis. Maybe the thing is cheerleaders, but it depends on the sport because there's some pretty weird, you don't want to get her to go for the ghetto guys on the football or basketball. You know what I mean? So there is a higher risk there, even though some can do pretty well in life. Trying to think. Maybe have her play violin or something. I feel like the musical, I feel like, there's not really, demon time violin male players. You guys would have to tell me where you'd send this will be a different show. But, and I'm just a woman with opinions, right? You could take this or leave it. But I'm just thinking from a strategy point of view. I mean, somebody's going to do it. It's kind of uncomfortable, right? But somebody's going to do it. So you might as well have some sort hey, these are like the boys in the area, These are like the boys and depending on the age difference, maybe there's guys you work with, I don't know, that are good. But, the problem is we keep sending them to colleges. And then have you seen those girls that go viral on Twitter, right? I'm not saying this is going to be your daughters, right? But on Twitter, there's women going viral for just doing crazy stuff. These are non-famous women. We covered one on the show, Mary Kate Cornett. I mean, I guess she banged her boyfriend's dad. I mean, that you couldn't have really stopped, right? But one of them, I mean, the dad sent his daughter to the University of Arizona. What did you think was going to happen? And so now the dad's actually going viral on Twitter. This has got to be a worst nightmare as a father because this girl got tag teamed on camera and it was just a private sex tape, but it got leaked on Twitter and now she's trending on Twitter and so is the father. There's nothing you can really do. But from a strategy point of view, what I would think to do, now I could be wrong, right? You guys are men. I'm sure you could think of better plans than me. But I'd have her go work. I'd be like, hey, that golf course is hiring. Because, even if she gets banged out by the golf course chat, at least that's a higher caliber of guy. And she knows the caliber of men to go for, right? I know it's way easier to just believe the sweet innocent angel, but that's the strategy. Traditional Catholic college. Well, yeah, but then now you got Catholic schoolgirls, right? That's a reputation. Now I think the more dads try to stop it, the worse the daughter gets. But the more they're just hey, these are the consequences. Good luck, chica. You get to pick. But then if it was me, I'd just try to put her in an environment where the least demons are, or if they are demons, right? At least it's a classy demon, right? I would think you'd rather have your daughter take an L with a guy on a golf course than take an L with the guy on the on the basketball team. I don't know. I'm just like, at least one is like a career guy. Now, you know, you guys tell me in the chat. Okay. The dads, like, I think there's a reason there's like a pastor's daughter, because the dads that do that and try to stop it and just live in complete delusion. I mean, women love doing the wrong thing, right? Like, we love it. Like, we love the wrong thing. So that's why you got like Catholic schoolgirls trend. That's why you got because it's like, the more you say this is the wrong thing, the more women are like, let me do it, right? So I don't know, you know. So, all right, anyway, I keep getting off topic on this show. Okay, there's an expectation that when you get in your late 30s and 40s, you'll do the baby thing, the house thing, and the marriage thing. And I just think, gosh, can we not? Is happiness not an okay enough thing to achieve? All of which to say on apps or not, Elizabeth is not on the hunt, and happily so. She's like, I'm not trying. And then like, they're like, well, it's not working out for you. And she's like, well, I'm happy. And it's like, well, then why did you write this whole article? Right? Why did you write? I don't think it's true. It'll happen when you least expect it. Doesn't matter. Being banged out by Chad just lowers her value and chance of being married. You do need to do an arranged marriage. Look, I just don't agree with that. Because you guys are guys. Women are going to know more about the promiscuity of women than you guys. Because women, we love gossip. Women tell each other things they don't tell you guys. So if I saw a correlation between purity and women getting married, I would tell you, right? I think that's what you guys want, but that's not like what I see men. Now, women that go too far and get shit on the internet, okay, yeah, they're done. I'm going to do a whole show on the women that I saw win the most, but that's a different day. Okay. Here we're going to do an Instagram of how people met. Okay, hold on. Let me make this. Can I make this full screen? I guess not. I'm just going to zoom in. Okay, so. All right. So now we're going to. We'll find it. The rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers. Yeah, so right now we're in 1946. It's 22% friends. So the 1950s, people met through friends, 20% family, 18% school. So whenever people say go back to the 1950s, remember the first sexual revolution was the Roaring 20s. They're not as innocent. Women have an incentive to make you believe that women in the past were more pure so they can brag about it and say, oh, we were never like that. But come on. You know, there's a guy that does genealogy records, and he was saying like, a lot of like more people were born from the neighbor than people realized. Low body count is not about getting married. It's about the marriage lasting. Totally. I completely agree with you. But you have to understand, you have to get in the door for it to last. Like that's step one. Now I understand that like the less promiscuous women, but you have to get there first, right? Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that and someone believed it. Look what it's done. So yeah, that's the most honest take I've seen. Purity is for God. It's for God, like, and I understand there's winners and losers in this game, but I just haven't seen that big of a difference. I mean, the pure women that get married go and get divorced because they felt like they missed out. I haven't really seen much of a difference. I'm just being honest. What's so amazing? Online. Yeah, 2015, a third of couples. Online. 60%, 13% friends. Would you throw hands with Megyn Kelly or Tommy Lauren? I think I would kick their ass if we did a boxing match. The question is, how much am I being paid? Would I do it for free? No. Would I do it for money? Yes. Yeah, okay. So now we got 60% of couples met online. All right, now here's a woman also saying dating apps are dead.
Raise your hand if you've deleted the dating apps. I reached a point today where I'm done. I'm just officially done. I don't ever want to swipe again in my life. I don't ever want to have the stupidest conversations in my life. I am good, and I'm just going to focus on meeting people in the wild. Like the good old days, right? I've seen actually so many women on this app especially talk about how like they're done with the dating apps and they're gonna try just like putting themselves out there and opening themselves up to meeting people in person. And I do feel like we need to get back to that. And a lot of what's on the dating apps is trash, but I also have to take accountability because I don't really like who I am on the dating apps either. Really, in any
At least she's honest.
if like my past relationships or where I've like seriously dated somebody, and if you're one of those people and you're watching this, I'm sorry, I might offend you right now, but I wasn't like initially super attracted to them. It was as we got talking and I got to like feel their
I'm sure men are like, yes, I can't wait to date you. I'm so excited to date you after. Like, can you imagine if men said this about us? You know, initially, I wasn't really attracted to her. I thought she was kind of ugly. I thought she was like medium ugly. But I gave her a chance and she gave me the gluck gluck and, you know, good enough. Now, they might think it, but the guys aren't dumb enough to say it, right? Women are.
their energy and get to know their personality, where that attraction, I'm like, oh, okay, I like you. And I just feel like that is so impossible to do on the dating apps, and I'm just over it. I'm like, here's to meeting people in the wild. Raise your hand.
Okay. Next, we got podcaster. And also, guys, I want to ask how your experience on dating apps has been. And I want you to call in and tell me your experience. Like if you have been actively dating where you've been meeting people. Now, if you're bowing out, please don't call in to just tell me you're not dating. That's not, I want to talk to people that are actively dating. Okay. And if your answer is, I got no matches, like it's not, I mean, then it has to be, I had no matches, so I did this, okay? We're going to do it after this.
Baby girl या baby boy? Amen हमारी friends पूछ रही हैं हमें बताओ.
ऐसे topics zen
There used to be 290 million people globally using dating apps. Now that number is down to 240 million.
It's like a thing. People are sick of the dating apps. I get it, because I think the part of it that's broken is like women have this like unrealistic expectation of what they want for guys. So they have this like profile in their head of a guy that they want, and they just swipe. And then I think on the other hand, I think guys have so many girls, I think they just kind of like, why settle down?
What I've seen from my guy friends that relates to this dynamic is like a really weird bifurcation of success that exists on these apps. So like some guys who like fit that profile, they get so much action, so many swipes, so many dates, and then that creates like a dynamic where they're, you know, dating multiple people, and like inherently it's very hard for them to settle down, and who knows when they ever will settle down, because like there's
Baby girl
Oh my
या
gosh,
there
no.
used to be 290 million who like
30 years of apps with height filters and no weight filters. Women would find a way to lie about that too. I mean, come on. They're like, there's no point.
fit that profile, they get so much action, so many swipes, so many dates, and then that creates like a dynamic where they're, you know, dating multiple people, and like inherently it's very hard for them to settle down, and who knows when they ever will settle down, because like there's just so many options, versus guys on the other end of the spectrum that like don't necessarily, you know, maybe check a lot of those boxes, and you know, it's strikeout city on the apps. There used to be 290 million.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to take call-ins. We're going to do camera. I'm going to do cameras on today. But if you tell me right away, you can say, I want to see you guys, but you can be off screen if you want. But you're going to have to tell me that like right away, because otherwise I'm just going to think it's fine. Okay, but yeah, we could bring someone up. And Doug MPA, feel free to call in too. Give your thoughts. Justin, what's going on? You're muted. You got to unmute yourself.
Hey, how's it going, bro?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So, do you still use dating apps?
Yes, I do. Currently on OkCupid.
Okay. I've heard a lot of people say okay Cupid. Has it been working well for you? Is that a wedding ring?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was like, it looks like a wedding ring. Go ahead.
No, just a ring. So I'm actually technically back on OkCupid.
Okay.
I met my ex-wife on OkCupid.
Okay. And
So-
how has the quality been? Have the women been hot? Have you been getting a lot of dates or no?
So that's kind of why I'm on the website. I could. It's gonna sounds however it's gonna sound, but I could honestly go to any bar anytime I want and go find a nice lady with a warm bed for me to share. It's not a problem. That's why I'm on the dating websites. I'm not looking to hook up or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the whole wife, kids, white picket fence, that whole deal.
And you don't find any women that are like marriage material at the bars? I mean, like, because I know a lot of married women that when they were young, they used to go to the bars, you know?
Yeah, that always ends one way.
What's your experience, bud?
So I used to be a bartender, and did that for like 15 years and off and on. And I actually bartended in Manhattan for a while, 3 years. I had a lot of fun. I think I had my share of fun. I think I had a few other people's shares of fun. Like I said, I know what's waiting for me at the bar. That doesn't lead to. You can go to any bar and find somebody to go home with you. That's not a problem. Very attractive women to go home with you. It's not a problem. That's not what I'm looking for. That's not how you find a wife.
So none of the women at the bar had any sort of like long-term, like you never met a girl at the bar that you could have seen yourself dating ever?
No, I mean, I've met a couple that I would like to. What I'm saying about the bar is I've never met a woman at the bar who didn't go home with me.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, Pro, it's Doug in PA. I have a question. So, have you ever seen a woman that constantly goes to the bar that a man can pull out of the bar? Understand what I'm saying? As in, like, you start dating a girl that goes to the bar and then she stops going to the bar. Because my experience is bar girls are bar girls, whether they're like in a relationship or not. So once a girl becomes one of those people where you always catch them at a bar, you can't pull them out of there. It doesn't matter if they're in a relationship or married or what. Was that your experience, Justin?
Like I said, the women I meet at the bars seem to be at least interested in me for one thing.
Oh, I see.
Like, I'll be honest, I lived in New York for 3 years. And I met a different woman every single night, honestly. And I was stupid. Well, let's call it naive. It'll be nice. I didn't realize what was happening for the first year and a half. Every time I met a girl at the bar, I thought, oh man, this chick really likes me. We're gonna go out on dates, and it's gonna turn into something. It took me a while to realize that at best it was like a fling. Maybe we'd hook up for like a week, but otherwise it was just about that night. And it sounds, I don't know how many guys you would get complaining about that, but that was never what I was looking for. Honestly, I'm probably super weird and lame. Ever since I was like a little kid, like all I ever wanted was to grow up, find the woman I love, have some kids, get up every day, go to a job I hopefully don't hate, come home to the woman I love and some kids. That's all I ever wanted since I was old enough to remember wanting anything, honestly. But instead, I found the hookup life.
Have you found on OkCupid that women are more interested in long term, or is it similar?
The women I meet, I'd say more similar. Like they seem willing to sleep with me on the first date every time. Even my ex-wife did, to be honest with you. I met her on OkCupid. We were together the first night and every night thereafter. We were married for
You know
5
what?
years.
You know what? I want to, because I was telling Pearl that we should do a show about this. I think that the concept of a woman sleeping with a man on the first night, we really need to re-examine exactly what that means, because you want to be the type of guy that the woman sleeps with on the first night. Do you want to be the guy that she makes wait 90 days?
I don't care how many, like, call it. I've literally told women this too. Like, however many dates, like, I don't care. I will wait however many dates. Doesn't matter.
But you're saying you don't care, like, but you'd be open to dating a woman that you slept with on the first date. It's more like they just don't want relationships, right? That's your experience? Like they just want to have sex for like a week and then bounce.
Seemingly, or at least that's the way it used to. Like, I've had a change of heart. I started going back to church, Christian, and not trying to like sleep around, just looking for like my ex-wife. Like I said, we slept together the first night, and I proposed to her a week to the day we met.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How long were you married?
5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, she had a 9-year-old stepdaughter, and she was the coolest kid. It was the supreme honor of my life getting to be a dad. And a husband. I loved every minute of it. Like I loved my wife and daughter madly. Like anytime I would wake up before my ex-wife, I would just look at her, and I couldn't wait for her to wake up, just so I could hear what she was going to say and interact with her, and just be around.
Do you mind if we ask what happened?
She turned out not to be the person she said she was, which was honest and faithful.
Got it.
That'll do it.
Have you gone any other routes other than the bar and OkCupid?
Yeah. I did speed dating a couple times.
Okay, how did that go?
I live in Maryland, so the first time I didn't match with anybody. There was nobody.
Do you live in like DMV, Maryland?
Yeah, I live in like the Rockville, Gaithersburg, Maryland area.
Yeah, it's brutal, man.
It is brutal, especially, and this is when I really stopped like getting not any, but the attention I got on dating websites just fell off a cliff.
Well,
once I my politics.
I spent a lot of time in the DMV area, and the biggest problem with the DMV is women here are so career focused, and then they fill up their time. So now still, I think women here make above average salary, but they still make about 70,000, 80,000. Maybe instead of 40, 50,000, they make about 70, 80,000. So you have all these women who work 80 hours a week. Then they have to meet with their sorority sisters 2 days a week, and then they have all these things going on, and they're lonely. They want a man, but they don't have the time for it. So and then they're in a whole bunch of debt too. Every professional woman in the DMV is in a bunch of debt, all of them.
I don't. Personally, to me, that doesn't matter.
Okay. They're asking a couple questions about you in the chat. They want to know if you're blue collar.
Yes, blue collar.
And they want to know how old you are.
I'm 36.
Okay. So what were the other avenues? So other than OkCupid, the speed dating, you didn't get a match, and then did you eventually?
The first time I didn't get a match.
Okay.
The second time I got a match, and it did turn out to be, she was looking for more of like a well-to-do, well-off person, fancy career or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I maintain that it was still the original problem, because so we met at a coffee shop, DC, did the speed dating thing. We matched. We went on a date, and I asked her, I was like, okay, so, why'd you match with me? And she just, this is just her words, her exact words. This is not, but she's kind of blurted out, because you're fine as fuck. That's what she said. And I was, for the first second, it's like, oh, that's nice. Then I was like, oh, that's a problem. If that's if that's the only reason why you matched with me, because you think I'm hot, you want to, that's the wrong reasons. And then I think she realized, and was like, oh well, also, I didn't have as good a conversation with anybody else, and you really made me laugh, and and to be fair, she was laughing a lot. We did seem to be having a good conversation. But again, I would still argue that goes back to, she just thought I was really attractive. She's like, your mind will craft the narrative around what it wants. So she already thought, if she was very attracted to me physically, the rest is going to fill itself in. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be, the hotter I am to her, the funnier I'm going to be, and all the other stuff, the better the conversation. It's just, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think the mind fills in the narrative to build around what,
Mm-hmm. So where else have you tried? Are those the main three? Are there any other ones?
Well, I guess there's bars, there's the speed dating, there's the dating apps. I guess that's it. I don't really know where else to go. I started going back to church. I was asking for all intents and purposes, my brother, where do you go to meet like a good woman, like somebody you can marry? Like, I'm not looking for hookups. I just, I want love. And I thought he was like, just kind of messing with me, but he was like, go back to church. That's not the answer I wanted actually at the time. I was kind of pissed off, but I started thinking about it, and for reasons separate than that, I ended up going back to church, just because I want to be a better Christian and, get back into the fold. Well, I was never in the fold, but, get closer to God, be a good Christian, all that stuff. I want to be a better person. So I started going back to church and started thinking, well, maybe, that advice will pan out. Maybe I'll meet maybe that'll be a good avenue.
Mm-hmm.
It's only been like a month going back to church, and I've met some nice people, but like I said, I'm not going there just for the dating thing, but maybe that's a perspective. Maybe that's respective avenue.
But you haven't dated anyone at church yet?
No, I like I
Not
said, it's
yet.
been like a month. I've
Okay.
gone like 3 or 4 times,
Okay.
and that's not why I'm going. I don't expect to. I would say this: I don't expect to anything to come of that avenue.
Mhm.
But maybe I've heard that that's where you go to maybe meet a nice person. So
I've heard that's where the worst women are, but I hope your experience is better.
Okay.
well, like I said,
Okay.
I'm not expecting it. I'm not going there for that. So
Okay.
if I meet somebody there, that's great. But
Well, thanks for
KW says Match owns all the apps and uses bait and switch on all of them. The latest trick is hiding matches behind a paywall that are not even in the country. Thanks, KW. Well, thanks for sharing, Justin. It's really insightful, so I like to hear what's going on in the dating field. Doug, do you have any more questions?
I do not. Thanks for calling in, Justin. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks for calling in.
yeah, absolutely. Have a great night. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you too. Let me check the chat. My wife said she tried speedy dating while in her 20s. One guy was wearing his taxi driver uniform. So funny. Nice. Can put in the next guy. Okay. What's going on? You've called in before, right, David?
Yeah, Pearl, I'm a regular on here.
Yeah, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. I want to keep this brief. I'm gonna go on a little monologue here real quick.
Sure. Just
So
before we
I
start,
don't.
can you tell them your age and where you're from, just to remind them?
Okay, I'm 28. I'm from North Texas.
Okay, and what field are you in?
I do crypto
Okay,
crypto
cool.
trading, Bitcoin.
Okay, cool. Monologue.
Okay, so I don't mean to pick on this guy in particular, like him specifically, but we have a big problem with men that are like seeking commitment. Like that's the big, like he kept saying like, oh, I want my white picket fence, I want I want the perfect relationship. I want this and that. It's like, dude, like you've got it all wrong, brother. Like whenever you really have options, and like I've been on the dating apps, I've used all the dating apps, I've been banned on all of them because I would get so many matches and I wouldn't respond to a lot of them, and they get really upset. And when girls get upset, there's that saying about a woman scorned and that and whatever. But anyways, I've been banned on all the apps. But my point that I'm trying to make is, besides the dating apps, like put all that stuff away. Let's talk about what men want. Like men today, they want these like perfect relationships with these good girls. And it's just like, this isn't real. This isn't reality. Like, y'all need to wake up. Like,
They did a study,
seriously.
right? They did a study. It showed that 52% of men still say that serious relationships and marriage is a priority, and only 24% of women. This is under 30.
Yeah, women
Only
don't want
24% women.
relationships. Like, you're not finding relationships because women don't want them with you, dude. Like, you're not
Not
that
until they're
guy.
35 and 40, and they have kids already, and
Exactly.
they're broke and need help. But
Yeah,
before that,
yeah.
you're right.
So it's like he's looking for something that doesn't even exist. And a lot of guys are like this. I don't mean to just point him out and like pick on him. This is like 90% of guys, Pearl. Like it's bad, you know what I mean? And I try to tell guys this, and I try to like level with them, but it's like they think I'm an asshole and they think I'm picking on them. And it's like, bro, like y'all just don't get it, bro. Like I don't mean to toot my own horn, but like I have options. Like I have multiple girls that want to spend time with me, and like it's like, bro, none of them are like, even the girls that are like lower on my scale are like, bro, they don't even want to date. They don't even want relationships. Like, so it's just, I don't know. Like it stresses me out, but
So you don't have any
I've
women
learned
that
to-
are trying to seek commitment with you at all?
I mean, I know one's like, I had a girl that was trying to, lock me down, but it's like, I don't even want that, like I'm still young, I haven't even hit 30 yet. So, I mean, I'm chilling. Like, and I'm definitely not the type of guy to like marry or any of that stuff.
No, David, if you think it's bad now, wait till you hit 35, man. I'm telling
Oh
you,
no,
the
I mean,
whole you're getting it, you're getting some now, but I'm telling you, once as you get older, like you only get more options as you get older, bro. It's insane.
yeah, man, it's only going to get better for me. That's why I'm not rushing a
Yep.
relationship or like commitment and stuff like that. And like girls that want that with me, like they're going to have to show and prove. Like I'm not the type of guy who's like, oh, the next girl that I get, I'm going to try to marry her, or I'm going to
Yeah,
try to,
it's
go
her
all
job
the
to
way.
make you. It's her job to make you want to.
That's
Yeah,
her
yeah.
job. Yes, exactly. And like guys need to get this through their heads. Like if there's anybody who needs to wake y'all up, it's me. And like this is your sign. Like I'm here. This is your sign to wake up. These women do not want commitment. Like they just don't want it. Like stop trying to, have the white picket fence and do all that stuff, bro. You're just gonna be disappointed.
And I don't want to pick on the last guy, but he married a single mom and then
Oh
still
yeah,
got
Pearl.
divorced.
Pearl, you talk about that a lot. Like the guys who they go through their first marriage and then they get divorced and then they all of a sudden just immediately want to get back into a second one.
I
That's
hate
him.
when I was single, I hated I thought I would want to date first divorced guys, but it would be like they would be so like desperate. Like it was like they would reek of like desperation, like dying to and it was like as a woman, you don't want that much pressure, like up front on the first date. Like these guys would be talking about marriage before like first date.
No, it's insane.
Yeah,
It literally, like when that caller came on, I'm just like, bro,
And I'm like, I just met you, but I would only find that like with once divorced guys, like never married guys. I wouldn't find that with.
Well, I would say, because Pearl is right. You're on opposite sides of the coin. You get divorced and you become a simp. Well, even more of a simp and want a relationship and get married again, or you become a red pill demon. Because most of the red pill guys that are the most that are for the cause the most are usually between the ages of 35 to like 47 and have been divorced already. So sadly, there's no in between. You either what Pearl and David are talking about, or you're literally on the other side and you're just a red pill demon.
Yeah, there was someone I went on a date with and I ended up turning down because it just kind of it was too much. He moved in a girl like 2 weeks later, like off of Instagram, and I was like, that's crazy. I don't know. I'm like, that's too fast for me.
It stresses me out. I don't know how y'all do this. Like, Pearl, I don't know how you do this, yo. It's so stressful. Like when I hear these stories, I'm just like, bro, what is going through y'all's heads?
So
like,
where are you meeting women? Just kind of to go back to the topic a little bit, like where, because you're 28, I'm guessing you're dating women like probably 18 to 25, would you say?
Yeah. I'm not really dating any girls that are older than I would say 25, even 24. Like 25 is kind of pushing it even.
Yeah. So where are you meeting them?
I mean, most of the time just bars. Since I'm banned off dating apps, I don't really have that option. I do actually. I am still on one, but I don't it's one of the dating apps where it's not as popular, so I don't even really use it anymore. But when I was on dating apps, man, I was getting matches like crazy. Like every week I could have something new, but it was there would just be these girls who didn't meet the requirements, and then I wouldn't unmatch with them or anything. I would just keep the message open, and then I'm one day I just randomly get banned, and then they're just like, oh, email our support, blah blah blah, and try to get your account back. And I emailed them, nobody's trying to tell me nothing, so I just assumed someone's reporting me for not responding to messages or something.
What pictures did well for you on the dating apps? Why do you, because I mean my guys are probably wondering what set your profile apart.
Yeah, I'll give you the sauce on that. So, okay, guys, this is what y'all need to do. You guys need to, first of all, you need to stop wearing bright colored clothing. Y'all need to stop wearing these pastel colors and all this fruity looking stuff. Y'all need to wear leather jackets and jewelry and stuff like that. That'll help you a lot. You also need to either take a picture next to a really nice car. It doesn't even have to be your car. Just take a picture next to a nice car. I have a motorcycle. I ride motorcycles. I ride dirt bikes. So that's my thing. And I take pictures with dirt bikes and stuff like that. But here's the thing. This is the biggest advice I would give to men is like, don't try to copy what another guy does. Like, do something that works for you. Like, find something cool that like works for you, and then like, really dive deep into who you are as a person. Don't try to like copy someone or like, it's cool to have influences, don't get me wrong, but like you can't just like directly copy people, and expect to have results like that, because girls know when you're inauthentic. Like
can you give a couple examples that maybe you're outside of your archetype, but like maybe like 5 examples that you'd recommend that are different in terms of like a picture or something?
Yeah, so like another archetype that would be different from mine would be like a fisherman or like a hunter.
Okay.
Like guys who are like outdoorsy type stuff. Like, you want to project this image to women that like you're not on the internet all day, you're not playing video games all day, you're not like, you're outside, you're doing stuff, you're a man of the world, you're a Renaissance man, you're cultured, you know what I mean? Like, that's what really like gets them. Like, you don't even really have to like, I don't look that good, like I look okay, I have nice hair, but I'm scrawny, like I'm super tall, like I don't fit the perfect archetype for like what these women want. But like, I've honed in on my style and like my like mannerisms and like the way I talk to people and stuff, and that helps a lot. Like, that will get you so much further than like trying to pretend to be somebody else.
Okay, so you want a picture with like a car or a motorcycle, or maybe they have a truck, whatever.
Yeah, if you got a truck, or if like, let's say you have a cool dog or something, like stuff like that,
Anything else you'd recommend?
The travel pictures do it too. Women love travel
we
pictures,
do.
and I have no idea why. I'm telling you, if you have any pictures of you next to the freaking Eiffel Tower or the Great Wall of China or something like that, post those bad boys.
They want to know.
The only thing is you might attract what we call travelicious, where like they travel all the time, but then when if you get into a relationship with them, they want to keep traveling, but then make you pay for it. So that's what you got to watch out with travel pictures. But they love travel pictures, guys.
They want to know how tall you are.
I'm 6'3". That helps. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and act like that doesn't help. Yeah. That helps. But take pictures with other women. Do that. If you have girlfriends,
that
you have, like,
works too. 100%.
Oh, yeah. Can I tell you a story? Oh my gosh. I could not. So my old employees would always want to take pictures with me. And I like could not figure out why. Like, I would get to work and like the recruiters would be like, Pearl, take a pic. I know. And then they were so weird. They were like, well, follow me on Instagram. And one of them was so and I'm just not like, I don't use my Instagram a lot. Like, it doesn't even have a big following because it's just been deleted so many times. And this one like took my phone and like followed him on Instagram. And I'm like, what? And I was like, why are they so weird about this? Because they weren't like hitting on me or anything. And I was like, oh, like a year later, it clicked because my friend Shiv was here and he's like, oh, I need a picture with you for my dating app. He's like, yeah, I need a famous person following me and like, let me like.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, that's the game. Like, you really just gotta like, it's all about like perception of value. You don't
I was
really
getting
have to
used.
be that guy.
Thank you. Most women get used for their bodies. I got used for my clout. Sorry, God.
And what David's talking about is you gotta. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're putting up a front. You're putting up a front," but you gotta be able to get the woman to match your profile to meet in person. You can be yourself when you get the opportunity. When you get to the point where she swipes on you and you match, and then you can meet in person. But a lot of guys can't even get matches. That's the problem.
It's the photos, man. They got to get the photos game up. That's really the whole thing. It's the perception of value. Like with the internet and social media, that's where things are headed. Like, you have to have the perception that you're a high value dude. And then once you but that only gets you in the door. That's only half the game, really. Like, because once you actually meet the girl, you have to have internal high value. And that's a completely different skill set.
Someone wants to know, they're asking you, I'm 5'7". Is that why I barely get any matches?
Yeah, that's probably it.
You might as well
if you're 5'7", bro, like, here's the thing. If I was 5'7", what I would do is not only get in like super, super good shape and make a lot of money and like do all the things you're supposed to do, but I would be like the funny guy. You know what I mean? Like, be the guy who's like rowdy and just like you're bouncing off the walls and maybe you drink a lot. Like that's like
You have a
you have
large
to have that
personality. That's what you
personality.
have to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Or just lie on the app. Does that work?
Yeah, just lie. I mean, man,
Or
all's fair
freaking
in love and war, man.
import you one from Asia. Most Asian women are like 5'1", 5'2", so you'll be tall over there.
So, okay, so you have so now is your number one way bars, and is that
Yeah, and
it?
like
Or
other friends. It's like I meet people through friends.
do you use social media to meet women?
It's hard to say because like I'll use Facebook every now and then to like talk with people that like I know, but like as far as like my views and stuff on everything else, like I keep my Instagram and everything else private, so nobody I know really sees any of that. Because like if people knew the type of stuff that I really believe in, the stuff I'm saying on the internet, they would like it's just one of those things. Like I live in a really liberal town. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, so if you had, for men that want to date women between the ages of 18 to 25, what, I guess, advice do you have for them, or what do you think they should know?
Man, internal high value, because the external stuff is one thing that only will get you in the door, but the internal is so much more important. Like if a girl, okay, let me give you an example. So like, let's say you're dating a girl. Let's say you found a match on a dating app and you go on the first date with her. Okay. You sit down, you do everything right. You know what I mean? You talk with her. First of all, you don't want to talk about anything too serious, especially on the first few dates. And then let's say you do everything right. Like at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, like, what do I really want? And the problem that I see with a lot of guys is like they seeking commitment too hard. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like you're asking these women to do things that they don't want to do, and it's like that's not going to help. Like you just have to be you and let them come to you. Like internal, like the internal high value will get the women chasing you. The external stuff is like, that'll get your foot in the door with a lot of chicks. But like, if you don't have the internal like capacity to back it all up, then it's really nothing. Like, if anything, they'll look at you and be like, oh, look at this guy, he's so pathetic. Like, he's got all this money and all this stuff, but look at him. He's texting me 3 times in a row, like 5 minutes after we just ended the date. Like, end the date, okay, give it some time, give her a few days where you don't text her or call her or talk to her. You got to give her some space. Like, women only will become attracted to you like when there's distance. Like, you can't just like be up under her all the time and expect her to like respond to you, because that's just not how it works. That would be my biggest like overarching point, is the internal high value aspect.
I meant more outside of that. Like, what apps are they on? Would you say the best way to meet them is bars? Are they on the dating apps? Or like, I know, don't you guys all communicate through Snapchat? Like all the...
Yeah, just social media is just such a like, it's such like a like synthetic way to meet people, in my opinion. Like I really thrive when I'm in real life. Like I just thrive in like real life situations so much more than the internet. So, take that for what you will.
Okay. Doug, do you have any other questions? Doug MPA?
I do not. Just keep doing what you're doing, buddy, and it only gets better. Once you hit 35, man, you take what you're getting right now and triple it.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate what you guys do. Like I'm loving the content. Like I'm always tuned in. Like I love what y'all are doing. Like nobody's really doing stuff like this except for, a few people. But I mean, Pearl, I love it when you kick the hornet's nest. Like you make these people so upset, and it just, I love that. Like that like rebellious energy is like, I'm so attracted to it.
Well, thanks for calling in. If you ever do want to make a YouTube channel about this stuff, reach out, because I'll say that to the chat too. We do offer that as a service. We help people offer YouTube channels, so I think you'd be good at it, actually.
Yeah. Hey, next time you come to Dallas, holler at me. Like let's link up or something. Let's because I'm out here in Dallas, so I know you'd be out here.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yep. I'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Have a good one.
The next one we have Aisha. Aisha, hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear
Yep,
you.
you're good. Go ahead.
So
Yeah, is it okay if I remain off camera? I just want
yeah,
to,
yeah,
for
that's
privacy
okay.
reasons.
Yeah, that's all right. So are you on the dating apps?
Yes, I am. I'm on just one here, but I have, great success. I've been on it about, I would say about 6 months here.
Cool. What dating app are you on?
I'm on Hinge.
And it's been going well. The women have been good looking. You've been getting a lot of
Yes,
matches.
definitely. I've kind of dived into every one of them, and what I find is people on Hinge seem to be, a little bit more higher quality. Um, Perhaps it's just how the user face is interacted is very Apple-esque, and just like Tinder's kind of a video game, but Hinge just kind of gives that Apple-esque feeling to everything, and so far the quality of dates I've met on there are definitely better.
And what city are you in?
I was gonna say, what part of the country are you in?
I'm in Florida here, around the Orlando area.
Okay. And have you found that are you looking for commitment right now or are you not?
I am looking for commitment. I would like to get married. I know you're against it here, but I still believe in taking the shot here. I know.
I'm not here to
But
tell you what to do. I'm not
right,
I'm not against or for it for you, you know.
right, right. Yeah, I am looking for commitment, but I think that's the wrong mindset to
Mhm.
have. Commit, because if you go on and seeking for a commitment, you kind of come at it the wrong end. You come out very desperate. So I always try to see it. Always try to see if I can disqualify him. Trying to find every reason if I can disqualify him. Right? Any red flags, anything, because getting commitment, that's what we men traditionally give, and that's not something you should give out lightly, just to anybody. But I will say something though. Um, it seems to be a common trend here that I'm seeing with these women on the apps. They're typically a normal woman gets approached here and there in the normal world, quite a bit, but on the typical girls I meet in the apps, they seem to have sometimes mental issues, or anxiety issues, or some traumatic past. That's what I've noticed, the difference between meeting people organically versus the apps.
And where have you met
Uh,
people organically?
So I met him, at the gym here and there, or at work or common areas. I try to be very active around the city. So, and definitely having a mutual friend, having friends to introduce you to other friends that you think could be a match. That just, a warm transfer definitely helps out there, and having somebody vouch for you, that goes a long way.
What kind of common areas are you talking about?
Common areas, for example, you know, kind of things that you would do in groups, right? So running clubs, uh, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, self-defense classes here and there. So you just kind of go, and things that you already have an interest in. You try to find somewhere local where people are interested in that area, in that field. So that way it doesn't come off artificial. It's definitely, and you'll be much more interested in that particular field.
How has running clubs been? I've heard that, I mean, that was in the article. That was the new thing. So is that something you
No,
attend like weekly or like
I,
what's
you know what? I could talk about that real fast, guys. 70%, 70 to 80% of people at running events, 5Ks, 10Ks, and half marathons are women. You will get more action showing up to 5Ks on a Saturday morning than you will Friday night at the club. I know. I've run
uh,
52 half marathons in my life, and I don't know how many 5Ks and 10Ks, especially uh, if you travel for runs. Guys, I'm telling you, you want to meet quality women, get some running shoes, because 70 to 80% of people at 5Ks, 10Ks, and half marathons are women. And most of them are in shape because they run.
have you had the same experience?
yes, absolutely. I had a great experience, because those kind of things typically tend to be a social issue there. People really come in there because they don't really have much to do on that day, and they want to meet new people. Running is just activity that happens to be in that day, but it tends to be mostly all women. And I definitely had a good experience there. Another thing that I'm looking to try is some sort of salsa dancing class or club. That's very popular here, and I have a friend that does, and he has very very good success meeting women there. So that's something that I'm looking forward to trying.
And out of the 3 places you mentioned, you said Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Run Club, through friends, and dating apps. What would you say is the highest quality women, like the youngest, best looking, and least mental issues?
Definitely, the apps have the most mental issues. I would say that.
Okay,
I
that's a
will
quick
say
answer.
that.
Okay.
You always want to make sure you take a look at their cabinet drawer and see there's nothing in there that that
You
they
see
won't
a
tell
bunch
you
of
that.
bottles with stuff that you can't pronounce. You better.
Yeah.
And you want to, guys, if a girl takes you back to her house and she wants to smash, excuse yourself to the bathroom and check that medicine cabinet before you smash. These are busy. You don't want to dive into anything full of psych meds.
You gotta look for.
if you
gotta look for herpes medication too. To double check. Oh God, sorry.
Most definitely, that's something I definitely recommend. But
sorry, go ahead.
but as is to say, the most high quality I would say is definitely a friend referral, because like I said, that warm transfer gives a long way, and if you have a good friend, he's obviously going to vouch for you. So normally the defense is on the friend side is going to be substantially less.
Okay. And have you run into any challenges of dating women in run clubs? Like, is there ever drama or,
Yeah, well, you definitely don't want to be known as, that reason you're there for. So if you're gonna go at it, you got to go definitely tactful. One woman at a time. You can't talk to 10 of them at the same day. It's gonna be, you definitely got to. It's all about reputational control. So one at a time. And
well, my experience is if you're a somewhat attractive man, especially if you're tall, you show up to run events. You don't even have to approach women. You just have to show up, do a good run, and just stay and smile. I'm dead serious. They come up to you, so that's how you avoid being seen as that guy. Because if you keep showing up single long enough, because most guys who do show up, are either in relationships or they're gay. So if they find out that you're neither one of those, you don't have to approach any women at all. They'll come up to you.
I'm going to read super chats really quick. Just sometimes they have questions for the callers. It's ironic in the age where women make more money than they ever have in human history is when they have the highest financial demands for men. And the question is, they want to know your height.
My height's 5'7".
And you haven't found that to be a problem on the dating apps at all?
No, not at all. Honestly, I didn't really consider it an issue until, I really haven't had much issue with it. I don't come about it, so I feel very confident in myself. Obviously, I'm Hispanic, so I date Latinas, so they're naturally smaller than shorter than me.
Mm-hmm.
But no, typically it doesn't seem to be the issue. Really,
what's your mile
seems
pace at your run clubs?
It's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy.
What, like
to be honest,
8 minute, 9 minute?
Somewhere around there, to be honest.
Yeah, because if you can get past your height in a run club if you run fast.
Well, that's a good tip.
Yeah,
that's a good tip to have.
If you get to like the 7 minute mark, because people will see how hard they recognize the hard work. So if you can get, I mean, you're fast right now, but if you get like really fast, you don't have to worry about your height in a run club.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't know. It's never really been an issue for me. I think it's really just how you carry yourself and the confidence you have in yourself. So definitely, it's really much a mindset to have, and and women typically have a really good sense of, knowing if a man's about it or not. So, I would not recommend this for beginners. Definitely work on yourself. I'm definitely in shape. I would definitely not do this if you're not at least like somewhat fit here.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any other questions, Doug MPA?
I do not. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, thanks
It's
so
a
much
great
for
call,
calling.
seriously.
Yeah, call in anytime, okay?
Thank you, Pearl. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Fazal says, there are two things I don't do on the elevator: farting in the elevator and getting on the elevator alone with the female unless there's another man around. I'm glad you go to extreme lengths to protect yourself, Fazal. Let me train for 6 months to score a 304. Yippee. I mean, guys, don't you just want to be in shape for yourself? Like don't you guys want to feel like hot? I'm always excited about getting on live with Pearl. Maybe too excited. I don't know how to take that, but I hope that was not. I'm going to just assume that wasn't in a weird way. Thank you, roulette wheel. Okay. You can put someone. Who else is next? What?
Zach.
Yeah, you can put him on. Hey, Zach, what's going on?
Hey, can you see me, or I can hear you, but
I can't see you.
here we go. Yeah, fresh work.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Just listening to your chats, and I'm a little like, I guess if I ask one question to start it off, of the men that have called in, which of those men would you most like to be, essentially? Because I feel like women are just kind of like, those dudes are calling in. They have nothing going for them, it sounds like, except for the fact that they can chase women. So I guess that's kind of wild.
Okay, well, it's not really the topic, but so I really just want to know your age, your where you're calling from, and your experience on dating apps, or if if you've been meeting women
30.
elsewhere. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I'm 30. I live in Georgia.
Cool.
I haven't used dating apps in a bit. It's kind of like you said, like, it's all the picture that you're, the picture perfect idea that you're selling is the only thing that really seems to be the main, I guess, driving point for getting the matches. So I'm kind of like, that's kind of stupid. Like, I'm not looking to sell a picture. I'm kind of looking to find someone who's interested in what they can, in their investment. And,
Okay, so where have you been dating and meeting women?
I just meet women at bars, and that's generally about it. I spend a lot of time on the internet, and I feel like I'm kind of like, average man in some ways, but I have a pretty superior drive in regards to, like, developing like STEM fields.
Cool.
And so it's been a mission to get a woman to, like you say, mathematics, and they don't bat an eye. And it's kind of like, that's interesting, I suppose, because I guess the observation I have is women seem to be, the more a man is invested with technology, women are like, no, you're invested with technology. Like, I see it like a bad thing or something. And so they go for guys who are kind of goofy in a sense, like nothing amounting to, like, and it's kind of hard to join in a situation with, like, women just taking those guys in over and over, as opposed to really evaluating a man for, like, what is he looking to build, I suppose.
So are you happy with the quality of the women you've been meeting at the bars? Like, are they attractive,
right,
young?
Good question.
Yeah, so.
Some of them are attractive. I'd say probably about one in like 25 or so are pretty attractive, but generally, like I said, they have like some kind of hang up around aspects of like technology as being like a useful tool in any kind of way. They're like looking for guys who are like dumbed out of it or have lived a movie style life, and they're going for, it's just very, seemingly to me, it's just very like divorced from reality.
What do you mean by that? So they don't want men that, like, you work in technology, so they don't like your job?
So I've been working on developing some theories in mathematics that would connect other theories. In the past, there's only been the aspect of like word of mouth, whereas nowadays there's internet full of information. So kind of grabbing a theory here and trying to work on different diagrammatic elements of algorithms that I build. So it's
How
like,
do
I
these
guess,
women know that you're into like tech and stuff? Do you share it
well, I
with them?
mentioned it. Yeah, I mentioned it. Like, this is what I'm about.
Why?
And
Why do you do that?
Because that's a signal that you're, going to be something, or potentially anyway.
Because you got to have a selective bank of information that you share with women without them knowing who you really are and what your interests are up front.
No, I hear you. I mean, I'm more interested usually in the women who I've got to know through just like day-to-day life, as opposed to, I'm not really going out to the bar like putting all of my eggs into any basket. I might throw a line out here. I'm like, okay, we'll see where that goes. It doesn't go anywhere, so move on to the next. I like to usually know a little bit about a woman before just immediately like, well, this is the one, or going into casual encounter.
So in terms of, you said day-to-day life, where are you meeting them? Is it like through friends? Is it like, is there a specific place?
Friends, going like bartenders, mostly it kind of just spending the day, doing the math and then going out to have a little bit of fun at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish women would put a little bit more, like I've talked on Clubhouse before and had a woman say potential, like laugh their ass off about like, you're trying to say like, hey, you have something you're working on. It seems like a sellout mission that's not really probably going to lead anywhere when the men that you're selecting to be your leaders are, kind of just all they're concerned about is like, can I live or can I die to live for some pussy? And it's like, okay, well, that's great and all, but I don't think you're going to be fulfilled at the end of the day. Just, banking on that being, I mean, I guess that's kind of the idea, right? History wise, but I think we should maybe take a idea of what technology can bring.
Yeah, I'm a little confused because I don't see women like guys with big social media followings and stuff. So I don't think women see technology as like a detriment, but maybe it's a different type of technology, that you're like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say a different type of technology, but also the social media is like kind of like a screen, it's like it's going through something. So it's not really like they're like saying like they're not so much viewing it in the sense of like, these guys are involved with tech. They're just like, here they are right in front of me. Like,
yeah. Okay.
Kind of getting pushed to them in a way.
Don't ever fall for that thing where, because you see on social media and on TV that women, there are more women nerds than ever, but it's still such a small minority. But TV and social media will make you think that being a nerd is okay to women, and it's still not. It's not.
Still not okay to be a nerd. Like, what do you mean? Because like, I mean, there's many scales. There's many scales to what you're referring to, and like, you could be like, well, I'm not a nerd, but you're not in the streets either, so it's kind of a different ballgame. Like, you might be like, I'm not a nerd, but you can't go anywhere you want.
Well, so like, I consider myself a nerd. But my background noise is like Star Trek. I love the Next Generation. I love DS9. I love Star Trek Voyager. I don't like the new stuff, but like Star Wars and stuff like that. But I just don't share it with the women that I date. I don't say I like Star Wars off the bat. Why would I do that? Like, most women still don't like Star Wars. And now,
but that's also very different though. Like, Star Wars doesn't lead anywhere. It's like I'm not saying I'm into Yu-Gi-Oh, so that women are like, oh fuck.
Well, no, but I'm using that as an example where
the most prevalent.
No, but what I'm saying is I'm using that as an example as to not overshare about your interest in technology and what you're doing. Find other ways that'll show you your potential and your interest besides just talking about tech, because most women still don't like it. It sucks, but it's true.
No, I hear you. I mean, but like, don't you think we should probably like maybe bridge that gap so women don't keep selecting like
no.
You can't change women.
No, man.
You can't.
It's not your problem.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it sets up for a terrible future then. If
women are like me telling guys not to like big tits. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, that's like me saying, guys, don't be blinded by big tits and a big ass. Like, don't be.
In one sense, in that like
don't
men
give.
have always been evaluated generally. I would say on like, what are they developing, as opposed to just being like, who are you? And so nowadays it's like a whole flip. It's like we're like, well, who are you? I want to get to know you.
No, we just like never leave high school. We just like the popular guy.
It's true.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
much.
Like
yeah.
It's like we want the as soon as women got the chance to not pick men for resources, we bounced. So as soon as we could pick muscles popular, that's what we did. So.
And so, like, ultimately,
isn't that kind of a fool's mission, though? Yeah.
Yeah, but you're thinking of it from a guy. We're not logical. You can't like logic women into liking men they don't like.
But at the same time, it's like resources aren't just going out of style. It's like there's different resources. You know?
Well, women don't need it anymore. I mean, there's some bullshit HR job.
There's absolutely many resources that women need. And that's what I'm confused around. Well, it's like, so you're just gonna
not really.
Even if women care about resources, they don't care about how you get it. So you don't have to talk about how you get resources. Just show them that you have it. Like, don't talk about work and your interests if it's something that attractive women don't want to hear, because you could end up talking yourself out of a situation that could be leading somewhere.
Yeah, I hear you. That's good. That's pretty
and also, women don't really need. I mean, like I've talked to.
There's much that women do actually need from men in regards to technology. Like the world's not solved. Like if you want to just die and get old, I mean, I guess, or get old and die.
I know, but wait. Okay, so again, but my point is that women can get a bunch of debt and just declare bankruptcy. Boom, get out of jail free card. They can go get on government benefits. Boom, they can go get divorced. So they can marry a guy. And then, or they don't even have to get married. They can just get a kid off of child support. Boom, don't need your resources.
but like,
get some bullshit HR job where you don't even do much and you just like do meetings all day. Boom, OnlyFans.
All leads to the same end game, pretty much, right? Like money's good, but it's not the main resource. It's kind of like the crypto guys. Like they're like, fuck it, man. I mean, crypto. It's like that's the investment. That's an investment that's been around for women, thousands or millions of years.
It just goes back to popularity and like muscles. Like that's why all of our movies that we watch are women picking between money and like what we would say love. So it's like Jack, like Titanic, right? The Rose was like 90 talking about some fling she had with this hot broke guy. And that she left the money, right? The Notebook, it's the same thing. It was her high school hot boyfriend, and she was engaged.
That's fantasy, though. Like that's fantasy in a sense, right?
I know, but it speaks it's not. It speaks to female psychology, because that's generally what women have to pick from. Like the guys we're attracted to, or the guys that'll stick we don't. That's generally what women have to pick from. The guys that we're attracted to, or the guys that stick around. If we find both, it's very rare. And we usually can't lock it down because everyone wants it.
Next time you go out with a girl, dating app or otherwise, let her talk the whole time. Ask her questions about her and let her talk about herself.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
I'm dead serious, man. It works. It works. Yeah. Barely say anything about you. Maybe answer a question, because most of the time, women want to talk about themselves. So just learn how to keep them talking about themselves. It works. I'm telling you. Ask them about themselves and have them talk about. Now you have to get used to hearing a woman talk about herself and her BS for an hour or two at a time. That's the hardest part. But I'm telling you, you don't want to talk yourself out of something that could be going somewhere.
Yeah. No. So basically, is what you're both saying essentially, that like, and this is what I'm getting from it, is that like if you're an outlier, you're kind of possibly removed from like gain any benefit from that until it's like already kind of became a more relevant sort of factor.
Wait, say that again?
Like, so, I guess I'm saying, like, if you give me the choice of being very strong or very intelligent, I'm going to choose very intelligent because of the times we're living in. And so I'm saying is, like, if you're out there in that category, would that be just a scenario where you're just kind of like out of the loop, basically?
Well, just because that's what you would pick, it doesn't mean that's what women would pick.
Yes, but is it not kind of objective in the sense of like nowadays technology is much more valuable than a set of muscles? I mean, I don't know.
No, not to women. Like again,
not to women. It's not. Bro.
You're thinking for like a logic. You're thinking like a man, but to women, not at all.
I mean, if I can't change y'all's opinion, I suppose that's a said and done.
I want to wait. Hold on. I want to show this TikTok in a second because I think that's very.
I mean, but I guess my point.
Where did he go? Wait, hold on.
I get that you have to have an outlier in this regard, but technology is going to take you a lot farther than, I guess, like a trust fund kid with a set of muscles who's not being fulfilled in life or not going to be fulfilled by the end of it all. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could be fulfilled in some regards otherwise, but
But
I mean, I
here's the
think
thing: if you have a guy that has a successful technology company, built it from the ground up, but then you have a guy who has a trust fund,
Mhm.
w- women don't care how you got there, bro. They just don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But I'm not thinking a
I-
technology company. I'm saying being
but
control of the means for things that are technological based upon life itself. I'm not saying like I want to make $1 billion. Like that seems like a little bit small fries nowadays. I mean, how many billionaires are out there? How many billions does the top right to the top have? Like hundreds of them. So it's not about like really just like how like what money can I get? Like, money's kind of a dead game, I think. I mean, if you're still playing for money, I mean, shit. Like I wouldn't want to.
Okay, I wanna show something that I feel like is relevant. Can we share my screen? Okay, wait. So let me.
What advice would you give to guys to get laid?
I think the best thing you could do is just lie bare, bruv. Just lie. Lie about your job, lie about bare things. Just lie.
What advice would you give to guys to get laid?
I think the best thing you could do is just lie bare, bruv.
And the top comments are agree because they're going to lie to you first. If you're telling a woman the truth, you're actually trolling about yourself. This is top tier advice. Anyways, I just thought it was relevant to this conversation.
there's just always a difference between what should be and what is. And you just got to reconcile that, man. Like what you're talking, there's no disagreement here. What you're saying would be nice, but it's just not going to happen that way. Especially the kind of women that you would want, that are like attractive and that you would find attractive and want to have on your arm, bro. They don't give a dang. They just don't.
They don't care. And the thing is,
so
it's like, again, it's the same thing as like women asking men not to give special treatment to women that are attractive. Like you guys do, you always will. Like if there was a girl on my team that had huge boobs, but she was a big bitch. But all the guys, like they loved her. And guys did date her even though she was a bitch because she was hot. Like what am I gonna do? Get mad? Like that's the game.
Yeah. So just look at what is. Because if you keep focusing on what should, you're just not going to get anywhere. But you should keep working on your grind and what you're doing 100%. But you got to separate that away from women. And there's going to be a time where there's more tangibles, where you have more to show, and you can talk about it or something. But just right now, man, just keep it to yourself. And just once again, when you're out on a date with a girl, just keep her talking about her, man.
Absolutely. All right. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Zach. All right. We'll do another caller. Hello?
Hey, bro. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, doing well.
Not feeling on camera today?
Yeah, 1 second. I could actually probably put it.
How's it going? Where are you calling out of? You've called in before, haven't you?
I've called in before. I'm 27, calling out of DC.
Oh, cool. So are you on the dating apps?
I am actually not on the dating apps. I got off the dating apps probably about 2 years ago now. I mean, the main reason was because when I was on the dating apps, I realized I had less of a tendency or less of a desire to actually interact with women in person. I think us all as guys usually have, that fear of rejection that we all have to overcome at some point, specifically when it comes to dating. And I realized that while I was on the dating apps, I wasn't taking the initiative and the opportunities that I had presented to me in person. So I would say my dating life got a lot better after I got off the dating apps.
Okay. And where do you meet women now?
That's a good question. So for me personally, the best place has been the gym. I spend a lot of time there, work out every day. So I definitely met a lot of girls just from meeting them at the gym. And again, I'm I know since I am a regular there, I'm pretty careful about, the women that I approach and how I do it. I go at a bunch of different times too. My schedule's all
Yeah,
over.
be very careful, man. You don't want to ruin your your gym piece, like as in like peace at the gym by hitting on the wrong girl, man. Because I've had that happen when I was young. You hit on the wrong girl, it turns into something, and then your whole gym experience is messed up. Because that was back in my 20s. So watch out, man. Be careful in the gym.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I would second that. Yeah, for me, like I have a couple different gym memberships as well. And again, like when I do have these interactions with girls, it's usually off of something. I'm not usually just approaching to go in for the kill. I'm usually asking about. Well, it's funny because like you can tell kind of if a girl's possibly finds you attractive, you'll get like maybe a look, maybe or something. Maybe sometimes you don't, but if you just ask something like, "Hey," how are those shoes to work out? And I literally asked a girl that the other day. It's an easy way to start a conversation. It can sometimes be something dumb. And you can tell right off the bat, it's like, okay, this girl's pretty receptive. She's possibly interested. And then you can progress from there. But yeah, I agree. You definitely don't want to, just go in for the kill immediately. It's not like a nightclub.
And so what do you suggest for guys? Like what time of day is the best? So that's a great opener. Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say definitely daytime. I'm big on daytime approaching. Just for me personally, I've done the whole nightclub thing. I've done the dating apps. I've had somewhat success in both of those avenues, but I think there's a lot that sets you apart, and really what's going to set guys apart that want to date in that age range that we were talking about earlier, 18 to 25. I really think is the ability to have an in-person interaction during the daytime. I think that's something that a lot of women don't come across.
I agree with that 100%. Right when you said that, because I think that the younger women expect to be approached at night, but not during. I think a lot of younger modern women, it's feast or famine. It's either they don't get approached at all, or they get approached all the time. And when they get approached all the time, it's not during the day at all. So yeah, I'd agree with you 100%.
Sure.
That's
Yeah,
really good advice. So you would say at the gym or maybe out and about during the day, approach a woman in public.
yeah, 100%. And I know it like
Okay,
at
that's
first
good
it's
advice.
weird, but that's really what's going to set you apart. And especially like I'm in my late 20s, so like even if you are in your 30s and you're trying to date younger women, it's like if you can have a good normal interaction, laugh, smile, be normal, show that you're not a creep, and just make it casual. I think that's the best way. And then you can move in from there. There's a lot of times where I'll approach an interaction, have a conversation with the girl, and maybe I'm not necessarily getting the vibe that she's particularly interested in talking to me. And then it's just like, have a good day. Like I'm not actually still following through on the intent. But I think the biggest first step is just like getting used to having those daily interactions.
I want to. Have you noticed that? Because I've noticed women under 30, especially with the advent of social media, they they just don't dress presentable in public during the day. Because I've approached women, and you're like, hey, you want to get dinner sometime? And then when you pick them up, you're like, wow, you look, but they look good. So they'll dress up for pictures on social media and stuff, but like out and about during the day, they're wearing like flip flops and Crocs and stuff. Has that been your experience too?
Yeah, no, I would say that's pretty true. And I think
When
that
did that start happening? I don't even know when that started happening.
yeah, I think that can play in your favor and not. Like there are some girls like, that might have just rolled out of bed and they're trying to go to the pharmacy to pick something up before a work meeting and they're really not trying to talk to anybody and it's probably not the best time to approach them. But that's really also why I do like the gym setting. Because, if you're into girls that are in shape and work out, like, women know that when they go to the gym, they're going to be around a lot of guys that are hopefully decently attractive in their eyes. So they're usually, even though they are in athletic clothing and they're not like in a dress or super dressed up, they're I guess they're physically prepared in the sense of being put together for opposite sex interaction.
And
What do you say about women that wear full makeup to the gym? Is that a red flag or no?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, actually, I would say that's a red flag. Like, if she's like overdoing it, that definitely is a red flag because, especially in that younger age bracket, there are a lot of girls that just are there for attention. But again, just overall with the in person during the day, like, I would say the biggest thing is just like the opportunity you have to meet like high quality women.
So real quick, the top 3 things to look for a woman to approach in the gym. So how do you pick out a woman to approach? Like, what are the top 3 things?
Yeah, number one, definitely I always say this. You want to make sure that she's not there with another guy. Thankfully, I haven't had that run in, but I'm always like conscientious of like, okay, have I seen this girl with a guy before? Because that's the last thing you want to do is like, I mean, for a lot of reasons, you just don't want to do that. So that's one thing to definitely look out for. Number 2, I would say, body language is big. If she's always has her head down, never really looking around, you don't see her interacting with other people, it's not necessarily one of those things, but more so a combination of all those things. She's probably not open to talking. And then number 3, yeah, I mean, I would say just a girl that's not just doing the most. I think most guys like low-key attractive girls. Like, yes, we like it's hot to physically look at a girl that's wearing like a big push-up bra or something. But also at the same time, like you want a girl that's like not dressed or wearing a full face of makeup, trying to get as much attention as possible. You just want someone that's like down to earth, normal, kind of the same vibe that you're on.
And so you said a daytime, what time of day do you recommend for men? Like noon, 1?
Yeah, I mean, I think as early as that would be great. I go to the gym sometimes in the morning. I'll be honest, I haven't had too many interactions in the morning. But I would say, yeah, my sweet spot for me is either right before or right after lunchtime. So that's like, yeah, around noon to 2 o'clock. I've definitely found myself getting in a couple good interactions. So, and also like if you're in your head about it and you're like, oh, there's this girl at the gym that I want to approach, like you don't want to do it when you're too in your head, but also like use other opportunities that you have in front of you to warm up. So like if you know a guy at the gym, or even the person at the front desk that checks you in, like try to have a conversation with them before, like get your social juices flowing. Because again, the number one thing I think when you're approaching women in the gym is to be casual, be normal. Like you don't want to put her on the spot too much. You don't want to just go in directly for the kill. You need to be able to hold at least a 5-minute interaction, just about working out, about even the weather. I don't care, but you don't want to just, go in all nervous and shaky and asking for her social media. That's probably not.
And where else have you approached women? Is it just the gym or are there other places in person you'd recommend?
Yeah, I would say shopping malls are, I mean, I want to say be careful with the malls. I mean, be careful with the gyms too, but I think the mall, I mean, you don't have to be too careful with the mall. I think a mall is a good place just to practice even. But I haven't like necessarily gone there to practice, but I've had, conversations and like, or approached a girl in like a Target or a shopping mall. And I just like to take I always like to take the more indirect approach of just having a casual conversation. I know people have different theories like, oh, should I approach direct? Should I just, go right in, tell her I think she's attractive and I want to take her out? For me personally, I like to find something random to talk about and then slowly escalate. Just kind of get the vibe first. It also gives you a quicker and easier way out. So.
And do you have any openers that you recommend for guys? I liked the shoe one because I think that question, I think as a woman, it's like I'm only going to give you an in-depth answer if I'm interested in talking to you, So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would say the opener definitely depends on the setting. Like for example, one of my openers in a club for one summer was like, I know I'm your type. Like I would go up to a girl and say that. I wouldn't say that obviously during the day or at the gym. Like I know I'm your type. But I think if you're trying to go the in-person route, good opener. I just try to find like the most not random things, but something that could be easy to talk about. I'm trying to think. So like, yeah, like for example, I saw this girl with like the new Nike shoes that I was honestly actually thinking about getting. But something like that's a good opener because you can just be like, hey, how do you like those shoes? I was looking at them at the mall yesterday. And she'll say, yeah, I like them. And that's just kind of a normal thing to ask where it's not like the first thing is I'm waiting to see if she's gonna reject me immediately. Um, and then, I mean, another big thing that I feel like I always ask women, because again, I kind of a wide range in terms of diversity of women that I'll talk to. I'd like to try to guess their ethnicity and then have them guess mine. I probably wouldn't do that off the rip, but
Yeah, I was about to say that. Don't do that off the rip.
yeah, I'm not.
That would be something where, so like at the gym, I would say hi, and then get to the point where you say hi enough times where she notices you when you walk in before you say hi, and then that's when I used to start. So I would never start hitting on a woman right away, but I would say, "Hey, how are you? I saw you working out," and then just say hi enough times where she, right when you walk in, or she'll come over to you and say, "Oh, hi," before you say. If she starts walking up to you and saying hi to you before you say hi to her, that's when you start hitting on her.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And that's the second off that. Yeah, there are some girls where I've played the long game where it's like, even if it does go well, I'm just saying hi, and then maybe the third, fourth, fifth time I see her, we have another conversation
Yep,
on social
that,
media. That's a
that's a
really
safe route.
good to play the long game, especially if you're seeing a girl recurringly throughout the day. So
Cool. Well, I bet
Great,
the guys found that really helpful. So thank you so much for calling in.
yeah, of course. Thanks.
great advice, man. Call back anytime. This is great.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna call back. And then real quick, Pearl, what were you saying about YouTube channels? 'Cause I've actually been thinking about making one myself.
Yeah, so I have like a media agency on the side. So I basically rent out my editors and my producers, and like we do thumbnails, titles. And we have content strategists. So you meet with someone like twice a month to talk about if the strategy's working or not working. So we like to work with smart, intelligent men that don't feel like learning YouTube. And so we do all the hard stuff.
Yeah, so all you have to do is just focus on content.
Gotcha. Yeah, and if that's something someone's interested in, is there like a place to go? Just curious.
We're gonna have a landing page soon, but otherwise just message me Pearly Things on Twitter or email me just pearlythings@gmail.com.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks so much for calling in.
Thanks, bro. Have a good one.
Yeah, call back anytime, man.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Thanks, homie. See you.
All right. Who we got next?
Paul
On YouTube channels, I've actually been thinking about.
Make sure you mute me. Oh, there you go. Hey, Paul. How's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. Are you on
gotta
the?
get into better lighting over here.
It's all right. I can see you fine. Where are you at?
Rochester, New York.
Cool. Are you on the dating apps out there?
I am. I've been divorced for 8 years after 23 years of marriage, so I'm kind of an old dude. But I got on the dating apps and I'm on Hinge, and there's so many weird profiles out there. See, I'm a film producer, so I kind of look for certain signs, but there's a lot of fake AI stuff out there too. I don't like it so much.
Okay, so where have you been meeting women? Actually, my first question, before I go to that.
Yeah.
Have you met any women off the dating apps?
Yeah, two actually, and we went out for coffee. It was nice, and I'm still in touch with them. So I don't know. I have a interesting conundrum where I am doing this film that I'm producing. So I meet a lot of people through that, both actors and crew. but I can't date anybody because I'm producing the film, because that would be weird. But I love to
Smart
stay in
man.
touch with them afterwards.
Yeah, he
right?
saw what happened to Weinstein. He said, "No, I'm not doing
Yeah,
that." He said, "Not today."
Not a good idea.
It's like, actresses, stay away from me.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's one lady though that just wrapped with the picture with us though, and I'm still in touch with her. She's a model in Los Angeles. I flew her in to be part of the film, and so I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
Okay, so have you looked anywhere else, like approaching in person?
Yeah, at church actually. I'm kind of a conservative Christian, even though I got this wicked ass cool tattoo just
Okay.
about a month old. But so yeah, church is nice to do that. And it's different for me because I'm 58, and I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. I stayed out of it for 6 years after the divorce, but these last 2 years, I'm just like, what am I waiting around for if I want to find somebody? But I'm finding my age is around, 35 to 60, kind of a broad age, right? But still, someone who's in their late 30s isn't too young. At least they don't think to seem to be a problem with my age. And ladies who are more mature are nice too.
So, where have you found the best quality women that you've been dating?
Best quality.
Like out of the church, the apps, or mutual friends, like.
That's it, right there. Mutual friends and doing things that you both commonly like, because then you already have something in common. If it might be, well, in my case, it's kooky stuff. Like again, I like film, but I like board games. I like things like that. So finding people at parties is kind of nice. Conversing with people at networking events is good. I'm into the growing my own business thing right now. So finding business networking events is kind of cool.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Doug,
I'm just jazzed to talk to you, Pearl, because I've been following you for like over a year now, and I've been wondering what's been up. So I'm glad this is cool that you're doing this now.
Yeah, I'm jacked to talk to you too, Paul. I'm glad you called in. Doug MPA, you got any other questions for him?
Nope. I hope things go well for you, man. Just be careful with that actress.
Oh, I know. Like I said, she's wrapped on it. We've been friendly since. It's been about a month, and it's too long distance for me. I mean, in Western New York versus LA, although I am going out to see her in June, so we'll see what happens there.
Okay. Well, keep us posted. Let us know, okay?
Yeah. Best of luck, my friend.
Okay.
Best
thanks.
of luck.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks. Let's see. You got one more? Okay. Also, guys, we're trying to finish the divorce documentary, but we're trying to raise some more money. So if anyone knows any investors, feel free to point them my way. We can work something out in terms of deal, but anyways, feel free. justpearlythings@gmail.com. Dustin, how's it going?
Yo, it's so good.
Hey,
where are you at?
On,
you look like a Wisconsinner. Are you in Wisconsin?
No, I'm in Washington State.
God.
Western Washington or Eastern Washington?
I'm in Vancouver, so I'm like right by Portland. So I don't know, I don't know what that is.
I grew up in Washington State, bro. I know where that is.
Oh yeah, what city?
The capital.
Oh, gross.
I know.
So how
I just want to ask Dustin. In your area, because I always say Western Washington is the place where attractive women make themselves ugly to fight the patriarchy, right?
Oh, so true, dude. So true.
Bro, you have no idea. You see some woman who could be a solid 9, 8, 9, but tattoos, they're they, them in it.
Yeah.
They got purple hair,
Like,
septum piercings. It smell like a patchouli, bro. It's ridiculous, right, Dustin?
it's so true. It's like I met a chick at the ice cream shop about a month ago. She colored me, and we get back. Like I dated her for about 2 weeks, and when I go to her place, I find she doesn't shave her armpits. And
Oh, that's it. There it is.
yeah, I was like, it was, and I never experienced that before. But when I like slid my hand down and I felt like a guy, I just felt a guy.
Or the bushes are out of control in Western Washington, bro.
Yeah.
I'm talking, yo, you got to get a weed whacker. It's
Oh, dude.
ridiculous.
Like, I went to, and all the clubs over here are crazy. They got like every club has a theme for like, you know, what kind of weird you are. So I met this chick that looked like the like the witch lady off Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, I thought she was real hot though, and oh, it was the most interesting scent I've ever had. And I just was like, where does this come from? And it comes from Portland, dude. It's just a Portland smell.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Like Western Washington's. I always say if you live in Western Washington, Oregon, or California, just move. If you can, move.
But if you're a simp, you need to get all the simps. You need to buy them a bus and send them over here.
Someone's got to do it. So tell me, are you on the dating apps, Dustin?
Oh, yeah, I just started again. I just got one. I just did it 2 weeks ago. I downloaded it. And like, so my advice for guys, like, you don't got to be nice. You know, I think dating is a numbers game. So I always bat out of my league, or I put myself in a situation where I'm the man. So like in college, I'm not the best looking guy and I'm only 5'7". So I'm not going to get with the chicks in the white frats, you know? So I joined a Latino fraternity because all the women are shorter than me there. And I was like shagging all the chicks that I was like, none of them would like give me a second glance if I was not in this organization. And you just got to get rejected like 90% of the time. And like, but if you're always batting out of your league, you're going to land a dime, you know? And
so what apps have you found to be the best out of the ones you're on?
Well, I'm only on Facebook Date now, but like when I had a couple, let's see, Hinge, I had the best looking chicks. Upward, you get very attractive women, but they're like off their rocker. Just the most insane things you've ever heard.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's like Christian.
Christian.
You know?
Oh, that one. Okay.
Like I'll like hide behind. You know, it's just crazy. And then Bumble, you get like
feminists on there.
Yeah, I think like Bumble is like what do you say? It's more on par. Like you'll match because chicks are only going to match with you if they think like you're like a little bit better than them. So I think that's probably like a good one, but you have to spend more time. Like you would probably have like a longer relationship with that. But yeah, I think like it just depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to not be lonely, then you probably want to be on Bumble.
So have you done any other avenues? Like recently, have you tried in person, gym? Like where else have you been meeting women?
Oh yeah, like well, I think one guy said you said something earlier that like, guys should just lie.
Okay.
You just gotta like women do fall in love with what they hear, like because that's like a lot of times guys put their best foot forward, you know, at the beginning, and then women are like, why don't you love me as much type thing, because you stop maybe buying them flowers every week and doing all that jazz. So like I just like I started going to this goth club. I'm not goth at all. I don't even know what goth is. There's like a Ouija board you dance on at the floor. So I go and I went dressed up like in my accounting clothes, and I just bought like I'm batting 100 there. Like I buy 2 of these goth chicks a drink, and both of them they're like just down. I don't know what it is, but I tell them I love goth shit. You know, I listen to this all the time.
You don't care. Okay, so
I'll
the
add to
club.
that. Guys, I'm sorry, Pearl. look, some guys have a lot of integrity, and it makes them feel bad about lying. So if you don't want to lie, just don't say anything.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't lie, like I said to the last guy, just get them talking about themselves and don't talk about you. Women can talk about themselves all night, and if you let them, they will. So if you don't want to lie, just don't say anything about yourself.
So, so you're almost saying like niche clubs are a good place to meet women. Like niche, go ahead.
I think it's good you want to put, like, I always thought it was good to put yourself in a unique situation because, like, I was in high school, I was really shy. I didn't know how to talk to girls. And I had a crush on this chick, and she told me, sorry, she told me, thank you. She told me that if I went to cheer tryouts, she'd let me grab her butt. And I thought, okay. So I went to cheer tryouts, and they put me on varsity because I was like the only guy. And then I started hanging out with the cheerleaders all the time. And I'd stay there, like, we'd have these cheer nights, and I started to learn, like, what do girls like, how to talk to them. And I found that you do like, it's really like whatever you tell a chick in the first week is probably going to get you, like, laid or in the friend zone. Like, it's just so, like, I don't know if I say much truth in the first week I'm with them. I'm like, I agree with them and figure out what they like, and I stick to that.
And so have you tried any other places? So niche clubs, the dating apps, where else have
niche
you?
clubs. And if, like, I have a decent job, but I pick up part-time jobs in the service industry, like, and I was bartending at a spot for like 3 months, and then, like, the one chick I was shagging ended up being, like, not the worst decision of my life, but it's pretty wild. So I was like, I don't need this.
So you get jobs and you get part-time jobs in
restaurants,
and
right?
Places.
Yeah.
I was telling Pearl about restaurants. Didn't I tell you, Pearl? I told you.
I never worked at a restaurant. I don't know.
I mean, it was on and off for 8.5 years, bro. And I can tell you, restaurants are prime example. If you
ever, yeah.
If you ever, guys,
what other jobs
chat,
do you guys
all
recommend?
of you guys, if you have a daughter and she wants to get her first job, keep her out of restaurants, man. Don't let any young girl or young women work in a restaurant, because all they're gonna do is get banged by the cooks and the servers. That's it.
Where else?
I'll tell you quick. When I was bartending, I had a girl wait for me my whole shift. She said I was a 10. I don't know. I mean, she must have had a lot to drink that day. She waited for me my whole shift, and I brought her home, and she had the most rank fart I ever smelled. But and when I took her home, she was like, "Am I going to see you again?" And I said, "No way." But, like, dude, it's like, it's hit or miss though. When you take these part-time jobs, like, you really don't know what you're gonna land in.
Being from Washington State, have you ever got with a girl who was pretty but kind of hippie looking, right? And then you get her home,
yeah.
Right? And then, like, it's not. How can I put it here? There's odor. It doesn't smell bad, but she's like a hippie. Understand what I'm saying? So her hygiene. So, like, you dive into it anyway, but you're like, this is the only time that I can tolerate this. I'm not going to tolerate this again. Have you ever had that experience?
Yeah.
Bro, if you're from Washington, most of us have been through it.
Because you also got to think, man, like, women aren't really eating healthy over here because everything's pretty expensive. So, like, pineapple's not cheap.
So, are there any other? So you said part-time jobs, niche clubs, dating apps. Is there anything else that you missed? Just like recently, not.
I have a kid, so it's not really fair. Like, not everyone has a kid, but I met a chick at the playground. Like, our kids got along, and I didn't, like, use my daughter for a play date or anything, because our kids never hung out after the playground. But that's pretty easy. Like, I'm in shape, so the other dads I'm not really competing with.
Right. So out of those 4
Thank you.
places, where did you find the highest quality?
The highest what?
Quality of the women. So like out of the
Uh,
4 places, was there one where the women were better and worse?
well, I think that actually meeting women, like, you don't want to kind of crap where you eat, But I do think that if you meet women at work, but you don't like, that's not your main thing. Like, that's why a part-time job is great. Like, if you're a single guy, what else do you have to do besides get a part-time job, save your money, and be better? So I think that's good, because then when you leave the job too, the woman's gonna be like, oh, like, we met here, but he left, and and then she gets to tell her friends at work too, like, my boyfriend doesn't work here anymore, he doesn't need this job, and then she feels like really good, and she's not just with you too for, like, you're both working in the service industry, so she's not with you for the money.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So I would say that, like, dating apps are just pretty much kind of like, masturbation at this point. You're just using someone else to do it.
Yeah. Doug
It's sad.
MPA,
It's
any
really sad.
any other questions you got for him?
I do not. No questions here.
Thanks for calling in, Dustin. Calling anytime, all right?
Calling anytime, Dustin. Good call.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye. Now, Doug MPA, you're last. What's been your experience on the apps? On where are you meeting women, and what's your experience?
So I like I haven't approached women in the gym in a long time, only because I told you I had that experience that messed up my gym piece. Dating apps dating apps are good depending where you are. So different parts of the country have different characteristics. I just moved back up north from the South, and when I was in the South, it was hard to date online because there's a bunch of baby mamas and a bunch of weaved up, tattooed women down south. The place I'm in right now, there's a whole bunch of career women. It just depends. But the best part about dating apps is that you don't have to worry about if a woman's available because she has her profile on there. So it kind of makes things easier. But you have to have a good profile, and you have to know how to talk on the dating app. But I would really, I'm gonna put this here. Meeting in person, run clubs have always worked for me. Going to a bar, you have to go to a bar for a reason. So don't just go to a bar. Go to a bar for a trivia night, a karaoke night where something is going on. Don't just go to a bar. Don't do clubs. And like the guy said, that I was talking about the gym, if you can meet someone through friends, that is the best way to do it. If you come recommended, that's half the battle right there.
Got it. Well, thank you, Doug MPA. Appreciate your insight as always. Any other final thoughts on the topic?
Nope. I don't know what's going to happen. Well, Gen Z is openly and actively getting off of dating apps, but it's weird because they were raised with no social skills because of social media, and now they're going to try to get off dating apps. So that's going to be interesting to see. We're going to have to keep track of that whole trend.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I really couldn't do what I do without you. We are moving to 3 nights a week. So me and Doug MPA have to figure out the strategy for when we're going to do the extra content. So let me get back to you guys on that because now it can't be Tuesday nights after the show. I didn't think about that. But we're doing call-in shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday nights, and we're going to be putting out reactions and maybe even some street interviews now that it's coming into summer. Again, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to give you guys more of a mix of content so I can do street interviews and other stuff. And 2, because I just think, like, I don't think I could do these long shows 5 days a week, and keep it at a high quality. But 3, I think I really can. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if you want, go to the audacitynetwork.com or click on the link. It's the link in the description. And the price is going to be raised midway through next month because we're going to get a bunch of modules filmed from smart, intelligent, non-famous men. And they're also going to be giving presentations on the website on how to succeed in different industries, improve your love life, and other stuff. So I also have a module on how to be a YouTuber under Audacity Academy on the app. You guys really should check it out. I could save you guys like 3 years of work. So make sure you like the video. Please subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.